started? Oh, okay.
Yep.
We started. Yay! Okay, guys, welcome to our second. Is that was our second?
Well, I thought it was third, but people have been telling me it's second.
Yes.
See, I thought it was third.
Nah, I think it's our second.
I'm
Okay,
sure this.
now
I'm
I
sure
feel
this is
slightly
third.
better because I thought it was a second. I was worried I missed one, and I was
Oh,
like,
I'm sure this is the third, though.
Well, somebody else said to me that they think it's the third because Zelly had lost her voice at the other one. But I'm pretty sure it's the second.
I'm so confused. I don't know.
For me, I know this is my second, that's for sure.
I think it's our
There we go.
second.
So if this is Honey Jade's second, we've done one without her. So this is the third then.
Is that
So
third?
this is the third in total. Yes.
I still
Second.
can't
Who's
remember
shouting
what happened
second?
in the
Didn't you
second.
guys like do one like
See,
a year ago?
BBS
In
is saying
Rivendell.
BBS
Sure,
is
just
saying
after.
it's the second.
I'm sure we did one just after Rivendell, and then one just before we entered Door, and now this one.
So Cold Fells Warden is saying hello to Wispa.
Yep, I can see the stream. I can see the stream. It's on the screen there. Hey, welcome, Coldfell's Warden. This is not a
Hi,
Lord of the
yes.
Rings online. This is a Middle Earth roleplay questions and answers session for everybody who's listening.
Woohoo!
With regards to our tabletop adventures in Middle Earth, as we play most of us play our Lord of the Rings characters. In tabletop session, in Dungeons and Dragons style, for those people that are watching and those people that are going to be following us.
And if I remember correctly, on the iGame Online website, you can find all the recordings of all the latest episodes on the tabletop section of Merp. If that's
Yes,
correct.
okay, if you go to the tabletop tab, or if you go to the website, you can find the link below in the in the bump below in the information.
Yeah, yeah. And
Um,
if not on iGame Online, it's
It's
on
on YouTube.
as well. It's on YouTube as well.
You can listen to our radio shows. Oh wait, we can call them radio shows. They're kind of like dramatizations. Would you call them? Most of them are like dramas.
Just audio recordings.
Audio recordings. You can listen to them on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and go iGame Online, all one word, and you'll find them on there under the playlist of Merp. Just get listening there. We're up to episode 64. 64 went up last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
64 went up last week. Yes. So this is a questions and answers session, and we'll answer any questions. Any one of us can answer any questions. So if there's a question directly to one of us, then obviously.
Lee, don't you have a bunch of questions that you have been
I
given?
have questions, yes. Do not worry.
Yay!
Yeah, if you have any questions about Merp in
Come on then,
general.
fire the first question. Any question all the way up to episode 64. We have recorded for more than that, obviously, but
That'll be spoilers.
oh yeah, we're not gonna tell you exactly what's gonna be happening, but we'll answer any questions or any queries that you have with regards to up to episode 64 in the story.
I should get my notes of my character.
Oh God, you got notes?
No, like from Merp stuff notes. So
Oh,
in
yeah,
case-
Go back and reference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got maps. If I do refer to any maps, I will put them up on the screen, guys.
Cool. I got. Oh my god, voice. I will say the first one. Ready?
Huh?
What do you guys do to prepare for Merp?
Oh, that's a good one.
My God.
Okay, can I start the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Go ahead, that's
So-
straight off the bat.
I always do one thing in preparation for Merc. After I've gotten all my notes out, because Lord knows we need our notes, and I've got my pen and pencil and all the rest sorted and whatnot, I always make sure that I have my music going. And one particular thing that I will listen to, because I always feel as if I want to do this, is I have a video of an actress doing a very specific scream. So I always listen to that before I get ready. Yeah, that's how I get myself ready for doing Merc, because 9 times out of 10, like, I try to get into my character's mindset, and I always feel at some points he just wants to scream. So if I hear a scream, I can sympathize with it and go, I totally know where you're at.
Nice.
So that's how
I think I
I
remember that video too because you linked it one time.
I
but
did.
have
Yeah,
it
you
somewhere.
did actually.
did. I totally linked it to one person or to a bunch of you at one point, and you're like,
Hmm.
you listen to that, getting ready to play Muff, and it's like because my character was screaming.
Nice. Who's next?
Anyone? You can go.
Okay, fine. Similar to like with Jai, you get like all like papers and notes and stuff like that, so you can either like write in them and take note and stuff like that. For me, I've got my iPad as well, so I can keep an eye on my character sheet, so I know what's what.
Uh huh.
Snacks. And
Snacks.
most of my snacks basically,
Yeah.
just to
Big
keep
one.
going and stuff like that. And also, since like what most of our sessions are like over midnight, coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
Yeah, coffee. Definitely have coffee if it's like one of those late session nights and all that, because you need to keep awake. And and for me, I know for a fact that I could not keep myself awake without any caffeine in the system, you could say, because I know I'll be falling asleep. So coffee is the best way to go. Well, for me, it's a mocha for me anyway, but I always like to add an extra pinch of hot chocolate in there. There you go. That's bad.
Chocolate.
Yeah. But yeah, basically like all of that and snacks, because in sessions we all get hungry from time to time, don't we? When it comes to the sessions. So.
The long sessions, the very long
I think we
sessions.
probably,
Yeah, they're
every
like
single one of us gets
4
snacks.
4 hours, 6 hours.
4 to 6 hours long, yeah,
Yeah.
non-stop, non-stop.
So yeah, so remember to have snacks along the way. Let's just say.
I always I forgot to add the one thing that I always make sure that I have is my water bottle.
Yes,
Yes.
water
I
as
always-
well. Remember
always
to have
think-
fluids.
I always make sure that I make up that water bottle on Friday night and leave it in the fridge overnight,
Yeah.
so that it's like really freezingly cold by the time I get to it. And half the time, like when we're doing this, when the guys say, "Oh, BRB or something, just gonna go get a snack," I'm like, "Okay, well BRB because I really need to pee." I spend half the night peeing
we-
on a Saturday.
When we do BRB, we do like have like a little break from time to time, don't we? So,
Yeah, we do have a bathroom. I'm like, okay,
yeah, we do have our bathroom breaks and such. So. Anybody else? No. Anybody else to answer for
Go on,
that question?
Zelly.
Sure, I will start. I always try to have everything open, as in the tabletop sim, my music, my like tabletop audio sound effects, so I can get immersed in the story.
God.
I'll have my notes out, like my big folder of like the character sheets and lore bits and little sticky notes and my dreams and other things and my character backstory, so I always know about myself, and my notepad and pen and food and drinks, and then that's how I start, and then I try to get into the zone of Estelle, you know, the zone.
hello set.
Get into a mood, you mean?
I get into the mood. Depends on the day.
Yeah, I forgot to add in music. Anything relevant to Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, definitely get music from that, because sometimes when a music track hits and you're actually playing Merp, it gives an amazing atmosphere and imagination of scene as well.
Mhm.
See, this is
Yep.
the thing for me. Like, I always pick music that is similar to what you would hear in that era. Like, me and Sally both, I think, listened to a YouTube group called Forest Elves.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, the elf music.
Yeah, for me, I actually listened into my iTunes for my Lord of the Rings stuff and all that. And hello, old friend, an old friend of mine.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I
Um.
want to know how Whisper prepares.
Oh,
for it.
Christ.
yeah.
I
Yes,
prepare.
because you're the
This
freaking game
as
master.
the games master or dungeon master or something like that from Middle Earth. online role, in Middle Earth roleplay session, MERP MERP. Um, First of all, I have to look at the next segment of the story because I don't know how quickly you will get through that part of the story or how slow you'll get through that part of the story. So I have to kind of read ahead.
Which is true.
And I have to look at all the modules, and there's a lot of modules. Modules were created by Iron Crown Enterprises. They were created in the 80s and the 90s, and they kind of think they went into like receivership now and disappeared. But you can still get hold of their modules and their maps and things like that. And I have to like extract those maps, edit them, and you can see a point where like you won't necessarily see a point because we don't these not recorded like visually. These are recorded audio. But if you partway through the audio recordings, you can hear people say point like say references to numbers, which they didn't do at the beginning, because I edited all the numbers out. Until they got to a point where the maps were just so complex and so big and so complicated. I took one look at it one day and thought, I'm not taking all them numbers out. Just leave them in. They don't know what they are. I don't care. So I have got to get all the maps ready, and then I've got to put the maps onto the tabletop board.
You know what? I've only literally now that you've said it, I didn't realise until you said it. Yeah, we never had numbers on the map before, did we?
That's right. Yeah, they kind
No.
of,
Yeah, I never realised it. Going through all Goblin City and that, there was no numbers. I don't believe.
no, there was no numbers. No, there's no numbers. When it got ridiculous with the size of maps, like the
I'm going to say honestly, it was better to have numbers on there than you know what's
yeah,
what.
it
and you have a rough
it
idea.
speeds the game up. For me, it speeds the game up
Yes.
because you can just say right where you're at. And you can say I'm in this zone 6 here or zone 5 or something like that. And I can say oh yeah, I know what that is, and then I can check my module, and that gives me an outline of what's in that zone. So I've got to get my
Yeah.
modules ready. I've got to get the table, the maps and that ready. I've got to look through the NPC backgrounds because there's a lot of NPCs in the Middle Earth roleplay adventures.
Oh yeah, so many.
So I've got to get used to them. You know when you say, what does he look like? And I'm like, oh crap, that means I've got to read this whole chapter.
Well,
So I gotta
this
say,
is
is
what
it
you get from
Duodin? Is it
players,
Bolt-
Whisper.
I know.
When they ask you that kind of thing, you need to be prepared to subscribe.
That's
a
why I say, like,
specific
give me a
or
few days just to
random
read over the
character.
next segment. The next whole, which region you going into next? Oh, this region. So I've got to read, like, there's so much
That
research.
section and stuff like that.
So
Yeah.
if you're going into when you were going into Mirkwood, I had to read the whole background of Mirkwood about what type of trees there were like, what was the vegetation was like, what was the weather like, what was the whole ambience, the atmosphere, and all the rest of it. And that's before I got to the NPCs and like the inhabitants of Mirkwood and the layout of the towns and villages and things like that, and what type of people lived there, and what were the cultures, and how their economy worked and all the rest of it. There's so much goes into actually reading, and you've got one of these map books, Lee, so you'll agree how much lore goes into and research goes into this. It is a fascinating amount of information in those modules. So I've got to read through all those. I've got to get the maps ready, and then right at the last second, I've got to get the recording software up and running so we can actually record the session. And then play all the way through it. Play all the way through it. Now, occasionally we do have internet kickouts.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we have problems with that.
Internet kickouts.
Hey.
And we've got to kind of stop it, and then we have to start it again. And when we do that, the recording software auto balances the audio, because it auto balances the audio at the beginning of the recording. So when you break a connection and you start a connection again, I've got to reattune that audio level, and it's like, oh, blah. So a lot does go into it. But yes, I always start with a can of beer.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like one can of beer. Where's my MERP modules, my MERP books? I do have an actual legit 1984 copy of Middle Earth Roleplay, like paperback version.
Yeah.
So that is really, really handy, which means I don't need to pull up all the PDF information up on the screen. Because with having multiple monitors, it's much easier for me to actually keep an eye on the tabletop simulator to see what you're doing and actually glance over at another screen where you can't see it and read the next segment of what happens, like what is if they
Yeah.
go into the next region, what would it be like, and all the rest of it. So I can read ahead slightly.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of planning, because you know, guys, that you can just change your mind at the last minute and go in a completely different direction. And Middle Earth is so vast
Yeah.
and so unexplored, a lot of regions.
I know.
Um,
Lee,
Mountains of
Oh,
planning.
well, mine's pretty much the same as everyone else. Snacks, food, paper, post-it notes. The biggest thing for me is post-it notes. I have loads of post-it notes that I have
Well, do
stuck
you
on my
put them
desk.
everywhere, like on your forehead or something?
No, they're all in front of my desk, so they're like little tick. Like when I've
Ask about
completed it,
this.
I rip
Ask
it
about
off.
that.
Yeah, it is. It's like I've got a name there. I've got 3 names there. I've got a question here. I've got you're supposed to be heading here. See if you can go this way. It's like
Yeah.
little indications of something for me to do.
Little
It's like,
reminders.
yeah. So I've got like a little post-it note thing for that for me, and when I've done it, I rip it off. So yeah, that's probably the only difference I do is I have a load of post-it notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly as well, Lee, you kind of did tell me off a few times of like writing down notes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's trying to get all the notes in your paper so you can actually see them.
Yeah, because with some of my notes, unfortunately, I leave them on Skype, which is bad.
No, don't leave them electronic.
I know I shouldn't, but I've learned my lesson and I'm writing it in like a little like dragon's journal thing that I've got. So.
Yeah.
I find it quite fun to have them all written down on the book because you're flicking through pages going, wow, I had all this, and that's all gone.
We've got a question in the Twitch chat.
Yep.
It's like a 3-parter.
A three-parter. Okay. I'm just going to move this to the bottom so you guys can see how. Go on, you can ask the question while I just show people what kind of maps we use.
Was it Coldfells asked what eventually happened to Gothrin? Is that the right? Is that
We don't.
Gothang,
Gothang.
Is it ever reused in the literature?
It wasn't.
Recall.
Sorry, it wasn't. As far as I'm aware, it was destroyed in the Battle of Morgoth. You guys are probably completely unaware of this in the Silmarillion, and we assume it was like once it served its purpose, then it was destroyed. I know a lot of people. You do see a lot of people tend to resurrect old relics and old lost things like that. In my adventures, I tend not to do that. I tend not to bring into it like the Excaliburs and the Holy Grails and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, apparently he just mentioned here that someone broke out.
Yeah, Guthrum as a Coldfellows Warden. Yes, Guthrum did break. As far as I know, Guthrum did break. It was destroyed. It served its purpose. It was there to. It was its destiny was to smite Morgoth, Merclaw, in the first book, the Silmarillion, and once it served that purpose, then yes, I'm sure it did just like break and probably lost its properties and lost its power and just rotted or ruined, become a lost relic, just a normal blade after that. But yeah, I don't tend to bring in any Holy Grails or Arks of the Covenant kind of thing. No mythological kind of items like that in my adventures. It's every games master is different. I mean, some people do bring in them relics and them weapons and them armors and them things, but
yeah, I think that's what like Matt Master's doing in Critical Role. He's bringing out like some of those vestiges in Critical Role, if I remember correctly. Isn't that right, Sally? The vestiges.
On what?
In Critical Role, they're these special items that the adventurers need to find. Yeah. That was the other question they kind of asked us. Well, Caulfield's is asking, would you be able to roll a legendary weapon that is obtained in a dungeon run?
You could.
I think we've got legendary weapons, but we've managed to find weapons that are good.
Yeah, there's the measured in Middle Earth online roleplay. The measured in potency. Potency, yes, potency. So there's like the moderately potent, and then there's the highly potent, and then there's like the artifact level, and then there's like the legendary artifact level, and then there's the unique. Depending on the level of your gamers, try to keep it around the potent and high potent. The adventurers that I've got gaming with me are coming to understand that when they come across items that have certain properties, there's like, oh wow, this is nice, and then later on they realize that there's like an upgrade to it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but does this too? And I'm like, yeah. These items have a hierarchy in themselves. And later on in future adventures, you will find out that there is like um, a magical property on a certain item, and then
Yeah.
that magical property is enhanced greatly on the next step up in potency, all the way
Yeah.
up to unique. We call it distinguishing artifacts, which is like the
Yeah.
One Ring and that sort of thing. But
Yeah,
tend to keep
and-
away from those, because what happens if you start throwing those out? Then your adventure will either soon die or just go to pot completely.
Yeah. And for us adventurers, that is kind of our job to find these kind of things if we
Yeah, but
or not.
make it a challenge, not just to find them, but a challenge to actually use them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I would want an item that would kill everything without me having to think about something first.
Oh yeah, true.
Like
Like
sandwiches.
walking,
or
oh,
something.
I'm going into this 50 battle of orcs. I'm just going to wave my sword around and whatever's near me dies.
I'll be like
Dies.
telling you, oh hell no.
That might be
And-
quite
Tell
good.
you.
But
Right, I've just put up there on the stream for those guys watching. That is the city of Tharbad in from the very first adventure. So we do have
Yeah,
very
it's a-
detailed.
Rich.
Yeah.
I have that
isn't
printed
that-
out.
Do you?
Well, a part of it.
Part of it. Very
Oh,
well,
yeah,
very
yeah,
well
that's right.
documented.
This is where Estelle and Theo started.
As it would appear in the Thieves of Tharbad module by Crown Enterprises from the center page. So it gives you an example of how detailed these maps are, and they're in beautiful colour.
So
Um,
many colors.
I know, and each one of those is uniquely different. It's not just it's a shop. It tells you exactly what type of shop is, or whether it's a
Jeez
trade or a
Louise.
craft or all sorts. An inn, a tavern, a stable, everything. And each one of those in the module itself tells you the shopkeeper, what they sell, what relationships they have, what do their family, all that kind of thing. It goes into immaculate detail, and if there's a quest associated with those particular locations, it gives you that information also. So if you're thinking about doing Middle-earth online roleplay, think about acquiring the MERP modules. They're really, really good, handy things. Good background
And a
information.
lot of research in
Oh,
both
there's thousands of them.
genres.
There's thousands of them.
Yeah.
I don't think they're printed anymore, but you can still get electronic copies.
I think you can still get the printed ones, actually.
Are they still printing them?
I don't know if they're still printing, but there are definitely ones that I've seen on eBay and Amazon.
Oh yeah, you can still get them on eBay and Amazon. Yes. But I don't think that they actually are being like. There's no 2016 print.
No, yeah.
No, I don't believe so.
No. I think.
What
I've got
is
another.
I-
I've got a few more here.
Go on.
Yeah.
Right. Next one is you all say Theo gives you bad advice. The amount of times he's giving you bad advice is 3 times, but on hindsight, was never bad advice. Estelle and Dillinchas have given much worse advice to you all, but never brought up on it.
Hold on a second.
Hold on a second.
Hold
Here we
on
go.
a second. When the hell did I ever give bad advice?
We
You?
have-
Hang on, I've got to find
This is
it.
Dylan Trask asking this.
Well, Estelle, we understand, but
When did I ever give bad
Dillinchas
advice?
said
Who
the
to?
end of a tunnel led straight to Morgul?
Mordor. Yeah.
But it did not. And you could have been stuck in Dol Dor a lot longer if Theo didn't go down and venture that way.
Okay. I want to explain on that one. That
Mhm.
is what I sense. Doesn't mean to necessarily say that it is exactly what it is. Whisper can tell you. He doesn't give us exact information.
I don't give you
He
exact
gives us
information, no.
a portion of
Yeah,
the
but it doesn't matter.
information.
It doesn't matter what Whisper gives
So
us. He gives
technically,
me information, I just give it out to you.
technically,
You chose
I
to
didn't
tell
give,
us.
yeah, because I was asked.
I like it. We're already getting to it.
I was
In recording,
asked.
you were saying it's a really bad idea to go that way. It goes straight to wherever it was.
Yeah, because that's what I believed at that time. You know, I couldn't tell you unless I actually went that way, and I wasn't going to go that way and get myself killed.
Wow.
It's a straight route.
What was the
That's
examples
there
that
you
I
go.
gave bad advice? If they gave any.
Oh, God, here we go. The paperwork.
Yep, I can hear
I
it
just
going.
want to know.
I'll pick probably a few.
They haven't actually listed any for Estelle,
Oh, you
but
got
So what are the
they
three
literally said
times?
a lot for Estelle. I only know of 2 for me, but
Mm.
I don't know the
Mhm.
3rd one for myself.
Hmm.
See,
Uh,
there's 3 for you that you gave bad advice.
bad advice
Well, that's
there.
what they say, but I only know 2, so whatever the 3rd one is,
I'm
I
actually
have no
surprised.
clue.
I think people listening and like following this and like must be like a Middle Earth version of the Archers or something going on, like a small consortium. Them all getting together saying, "Oh, that was bad advice."
Oh, you know
I
what?
want to know.
Well, I didn't. Well, Zabby didn't come in until later, so I'm guessing that makes sense that they wouldn't think that
like
Zabby gave bad
it's
advice
like a-
yet.
It's like a Middle Earth soap opera.
Yes.
There's always a Middle Earth soap
Eventually.
opera.
When is it not?
Oh, it always is
When
every
is it
week.
not soap opera?
Every week. Mm.
I've got a question for actually when we first met Zabby here. So,
Oh,
on the first meeting of the Little Hobbit,
Yay!
aka Zabby,
Hey.
she was very sweary. Did you feel like you could leave her behind?
did you? Like, who's the you?
Guessing when it
I
was
want to know.
moving
I want to
into
know
the trust.
who's that directed at. Is that directed at?
That's directed to
Me.
all of you of me.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is
it
it
says just to you. So,
to you? Okay.
like,
I'll let Zelly and Lee answer first.
Oh God.
I, honest, Theo would have thought, "Oh my god, another swearer this much." It's like, what's happened to the land? So much swearing
I
lately.
thought Theo would be like, at least it's not an elf.
No, because he didn't even know. He could only hear the voice at the time
Yeah.
Yeah.
until it came out. It's like, oh, what the hell's this? Such a
It
bad
doesn't
mouth and
matter
such a
if the
small
person
creature.
is swearing as long as they're a person that we can save. And they're
Yeah,
not
you
evil.
say that to the rest of the one we've left.
Oh yeah, the dozens or so left behind.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, gee, thanks. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, good job. Woo! All those people. Woo.
So did we think we could leave them behind?
I
Probably. I don't think we probably would have left them behind, but I think I would have wanted to try.
And I would have
You
stopped you.
bastard.
on the Swearing Hobbit one, Dylan Trask really didn't care that she was swearing. It annoyed him. Don't get me wrong, but so did
Jeez,
a good,
thanks.
a good majority of their team annoyed him at that point anyway. So it's like,
That's true.
doesn't matter.
There you go.
Another annoying piece. Well, okay.
Estelle.
Mm.
Yes. Why? Why did you say my name? Why did you say my character's
What
name?
did you think?
About what?
Did you wanted to leave me behind because that
I
was
just
the
said
swearing that was
no.
it? No. Okay.
Because
thank
I
you.
always
Who's the first
try
one
to
to
say,
answer?
I'm always the I'm always the character one that wants to at least try to get someone out, no matter who it is, and if they're good-ish. Well, against the enemy, against the people that we're fighting against.
Well, you definitely got your coins worth of that, that's for sure.
So, if you'd be like, oh, let's leave it behind, and I'll be like, no, we're saving at least one person. If we can't save everybody, we at least save one. And I've been that from the very beginning. I was like, no, we're
Oh.
saving this person.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like, no.
definitely. Hmm.
Okay.
That's Estelle for you.
You
don't
all
care.
moan. Well, yeah, that's
Mhm.
Estelle, that's definitely sure. You all moan at Theo from leaving the argument. You always say he's running away. In hindsight, he's literally just turning the cheek and walking away from an aggressive situation. Estelle is always arguing but never been picked up on. She never gives a straight answer. She
Oh.
always makes the situation frustrating and walks away.
Yeah, Estelle.
Never called on.
Okay, I just want to say something on
Like
Is
this.
this a question?
Yeah,
That was
that's
a question.
This is a question. This is a question. And I'm gonna say something on this before we really get into it for this one. Estelle on the recording doesn't get called up for it, right, guys? But as soon as Wispa says we're clear, you can guarantee that 95% of the time we're calling her on it. We're like, you should have said something there.
Yeah, we're always like especially lately, we had the conversations after Merp, and like, while some might log off because it gets really late, some of us do stay on. We discuss like what happens, like, oh, what did you
Yeah.
think about this bit? Like, oh, maybe I should have said this, you know?
Yeah, sometimes we do. It's just after when we actually finish our sessions, we do sometimes call each other out on certain things. Like we could have done this, that, and the other.
I think it's fair to say on that front that Zelly is the one who gets the majority of that. You should have
That's
said
true.
Actually, I don't really think she does.
You don't.
Really? Do you,
No,
really?
I
Who do you
really
think,
don't.
Matt?
I think she does actually,
Really?
and that's just me.
Wait, what?
I think you get called out on when you don't say something that you probably.
Yeah, it's
don't
just
a lot.
sometimes you do.
I think there's a few
It's-
things. There's
yeah.
a few things. Like, you let a few things go by,
Hmm.
until eventually you think, "Hang on, I've had enough of this. Now we're going to have to call her out. Not at every
Yeah,
time,
Yeah.
but you
That
let a few
definitely
things
happens.
go. Then it's like, hang on, this is getting out of hand now, and then you call her out.
Oh, especially it would be the Theo thing where you would like give it a chance to see if I'll do it on my own. Estelle
I tried
does
to
it
give
on
you
her
an
own,
That don't work.
but I still do it in a way that he's not satisfied, so he's like, "Fuck it, I'm out."
And we thought we would get through this without swearing.
Very.
That's take.
Well, we're never gonna escape the swearing jar anyway. So.
Sad face.
I'm gonna say this. I'm so happy that and this is a kind of thing. I'm so happy that Theo has actually started kind of swearing now as well. Because I was beginning
Purely
to wonder-
because I was tired and I forgot.
yeah.
Just forgot.
Theo is tired and he forgot. I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame Lee either.
Curious. What's the next question?
Oh, I'll do swap over that one. Let's skip that one. Let's do...
Go.
I love questions.
Do you guys feel like
Mhm.
you would ever change a situation that you've already previously done?
Oh
Yes.
God.
So, like, you've already done, would you want to
Yeah.
go back and do it differently?
Maybe.
I think there'd
Yes.
be like how many? Are we asking how many? Because there'd be loads.
Yeah, if there was that many, there definitely
Every
would be 100.
confrontation.
Okay,
that
I'm
made
gonna
me
say
have to
this.
answer
At least
questions.
name one. At least name one that you would want to go back
Oh, there's
and redo.
numerous ones.
Every RP moment where I had to discuss something and I said it in the wrong way.
Okay.
That's everything.
It's everything.
There's one moment in time that I wish I could go back and do differently,
Yeah.
and I don't know this. This one's probably aired, and it's kind of difficult because I haven't been following. Have we had the part where Zelly reaches into my shortcut?
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that was before Lorian. Yeah.
That I would still want to go back and do that bit differently because I'd want to punch her in the face.
I think.
I'm so glad you didn't.
I think for me, it was the door trap.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was good.
The door trap.
Dumbledore, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember around that situation, and Zabby can clarify this because she's saying it in my freaking head. I wish I wasn't so paranoid and
Do you know-
overthinking shit.
I
The
wanna-
best thing about that, though, is Joy's the one that egged you on to do
Yeah,
it.
I know.
Bastard!
Go on, open the door. Go on, open the door.
The best bit is I actually said
Yeah,
think it
you
was the
did,
week-
you
the week-
cheeky little.
the week later I actually said to I think it was Lee and
Oh no! You told it to me. I remember you telling
What?
me. You said it afterwards when Jade left and it was just a few of us left and we were talking about what happened and stuff and you were like, "Thank God, no one blamed me."
Yeah.
Really?
I thought I was gonna be like,
God,
"No,
you
Tress
little
told me to,"
bastard.
and it's like you walked out of that free of any charges. And you felt good.
Oh my god, you bastards!
the best of it you know the best of it, I so did, and I was like, I'm really sorry. Like, I felt really bad about it. I was like, I'm really sorry that Sabby had to get a stabbing pain in her hand. I'm so glad I didn't get blamed for it.
You little shit.
Oh, it's great. See, I would want to go back and change everything from the moment we went into Mirkwood to also the moment we went into Dumbledore.
See, that's
Everything
one thing.
I would
Sorry.
change. I would do everything differently.
That is one thing about Dumbledore that I wouldn't change.
Ah,
I would keep that the same, like, getting away with murder, which I actually did. I'm
ridiculous. Yeah.
like,
Oh
I'm really
yeah.
sorry.
If I also would change every time we are faced with the decision of if we could save or go this route or whatever. I'd be like, no, we're doing it.
Well,
What,
Everyone
this,
be
that, and the
damned.
other shit?
you could still do that. That's the only problem is you don't have the backbone to do it.
Yeah,
I know that sounded really harsh, but it's true.
it's true.
Nah, each to their own.
Zelly's fans are coming to get me now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, because
Definitely.
the same Zelly fans are calling me out, so you know.
It's true.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah.
GG,
Okay,
Zelly
you want to be
fans.
called out? I will read. Where is it? Is it on the iPad? I think it's on the iPad one. It's on this
Yeah.
one. I will read this one then.
Okay.
Let me load it up.
God.
What am I called out on?
Yeah.
What's it?
Estelle.
Oh dear.
Oh boy, here we go.
Estelle always knows these dreams and never tells the party. She always knows information before the party has been told. She keeps a lot of secret. Does she want the party to die secretly?
It's a bit drastic, isn't it?
Ooh, Estelle, you don't
Wow.
answer that.
Wow.
It's a bit drastic, isn't it?
Estelle, seriously.
Wow.
You gotta answer that question.
I feel like I shouldn't just to leave suspense.
Oh, don't be a beep.
No.
She's
She's
secretly an agent of evil, yeah.
She's got to not answer it.
Oh,
She isn't.
fine. It's Estelle's decision at the end of the flipping day.
I think you can answer it, but don't just like
No, I
answer it
know
as far.
what I would answer as me and as Estelle, but and then she'll say a direct answer,
Yeah.
but but I think just because that was such a direct like questioning of someone's like
I think it's a question of like loyalty.
morality and loyalty and her
Yeah.
morality and her like alignment and her will, like, is she good person? And then if you're suspecting her, then go for it if you want to suspect her, because the suspense is much more fun if you start questioning who you're surrounded with.
Yeah, but that
Everyone's
could really go bad
questioning
for
each
you.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
numerous
I feel
times.
That
like
could
the
go
sword
badly.
could have come towards you a couple of times.
Yeah.
There would
I've-
not have been a meat shield for you, let's say.
Yeah.
Oh, the way you're saying that,
That's
Lee.
so bad.
I've
Damn.
thought of it many
I can
times.
heal
thought,
other people, and that's why I'm not
I
dead yet.
thought, yeah, well,
If I wasn't a healer,
many times I was going to
killed
walk
me
away
already.
and let you go into some serious damage.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, she's kind of the only healer we have at the moment.
That is
She's the only
true,
one that knows.
unfortunately.
You're usually complaining about her healing.
Well, yeah, that's true. And even though she's the only healer we have, only maybe twice she's actually healed
Sorry,
me.
the dice is not in my favor sometimes.
Or was it just
Well,
deliberate?
I do have some healing items if I remember correctly. So
Well, if they're prepared properly,
yeah.
which is probably going to be requiring alchemy.
I mean, one of them isn't it? One of my potion thingies.
I don't know. But yeah. Estelle is is the only healer, but like, I don't know if it's part of the next question or part of one of the questions that you got. Lee was maybe she's only just doing enough healing
So
to
she
get
can
by.
use her abilities that she wants.
Mm.
I'm trying to find that question.
No, it's an actual question.
Everyone's
Oh, lordy.
questioning my loyalty
And abilities.
and abilities. I don't blame him, but I don't. Like,
You do.
I don't blame them actually. It's probably I do seem like that, so you know.
I
Estelle.
can't find that one. Oh, let me read another one quickly.
Yeah, go on.
Don't forget, guys, if you do have questions for us, put them in the chat.
Yes, please.
Yeah, they'll appear on stream.
Have your characters... No, sorry, let me start again. Have your characters' voices coming
yes.
through as you wanted them to?
No.
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 What?
Yeah. The character voices, as you play your character, have their voices developed the way you wanted them to.
No.
Mine, I stopped right at the start because I had a crap mic, really, and it was a very low tone voice, and it was all...
Yeah.
So
I'm
I
gonna
couldn't
say
really roleplay with it until a little bit later on, and by that time it was already too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think I can safely answer this one for everybody. But if you do have a difference of opinion, please do say. Because this is a question that none of us have really talked about. It's very difficult to go between your own voice and then the voice in mind that you have for a specific character. And 9 times out of 10, what we're being told and what we're asking of each other is in our own voices. So it's really hard to say, oh, well, what do you think of that, Theo, as Dylan Trask, and then also be asking a question the next time about where we are to Wispa. It's too hard, so...
I'm gonna say for myself that I do try to throw a voice sometimes for Zaddy. But it's sometimes like how she say things, if then anything really.
I think if you can get away with doing a voice for a particular instance, then you should do it. But doing a voice the whole time, it's just not going to happen.
It definitely will happen for me when I do my Dragonlance. That is it.
Yes, I think
My Dragonlance character, when he speaks in a voice. That's it. I wanted Theo to do the same, but because of the beginning of my microphone, Nat, I just couldn't.
I think
he was meant to be a little bit more.
Well, gruff.
Yeah, like a bit more burly,
more earthy.
Earthy, that's it. Yeah, but it never came across. It just ended because I got a new microphone. It was like, oh, hello.
I think when it comes to do the Dragon, with
Oh my god.
Dragonlance, everybody will have had so much practice with Merp
Yeah.
that yes, the character roles. I was gonna say nobody's gonna ask me, but me playing the games master, trying to do a voice for everybody, all the NPCs, it's really impossible. Don't even attempt it. I did try a little bit in Tharbad, didn't I, guys?
Yeah, I mean there was a question there for you actually. Let me
was there?
read-
Okay.
Yeah, let me read that question.
Oh, go on, the quick links. BVS has just fired one up there.
Yeah, BBS says, has anybody ever come close to dying?
Theo.
Yes.
Dying? Doing
Me.
Yes,
Twice.
Theo.
Twice.
We all have.
No.
No,
Theo.
Theo. Officially, Theo
Theo.
almost came
Everyone-
close to
no one-
dying.
Yeah.
In Dortmund.
I've been knocked out once and have been like on 1 hit point.
Yeah.
This is true. Because the only person that has been close to death at this moment of time in this adventure has been Theo.
And the worst thing is, I was injured by my own party.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing that
Headbutt.
knocked me out was my own party.
Yeah.
It
That's
was
what
from
a
like,
meat shield gets, you know. It's like, oh, everyone else is all ranged now. It's like, oh, they're not dead yet. Oh, it means I've got to run in now. Fine. Run in. I'll take this one because he's not stunned and the other one is. And so, oh, shit, he hit me. Oh, he hit me, didn't do much. Maureen comes in, the other NPC. Trips over, headbutts me, 30 points of damage, knockout.
That was the funniest thing ever.
I got one
Oh
hit
my
and then that was it.
Yeah.
It's just when that happened, I'm like, oh, fuck.
It was great, but it was like, oh wow, well, it looks like I know who I'm playing next.
Oh my god.
Nice. Okay,
was
next
terrible.
one. What's the?
The question for you, Wispa.
Yeah.
What? I'm not bad.
DM? No. Yeah, DM.
Dungeon Master. Yeah, I know what I mean. Yeah.
DM, do you have any other characters you will be playing with a voice or an attitude? You have played many characters prior to this, as in the
Mm.
Bannerall, the King of Under the Hill, the Butcher.
Yeah,
Was
the
it
Witcher.
Butcher? I can't remember. Was it Butcher? Was it Butcher?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Yes,
butcher
we
was
just
also-
explained.
he was
There's
mental. He was...
also the NPCs that follow the group.
Yeah.
Will any of them in the future have a voice or an attitude that you will play through?
Any new ones or any
Any-
existing ones?
Any existing or any new ones? I'm presuming that they're saying that you're not doing voices.
There's so many characters in Lord of the Rings. I mean,
I'm
if one
going to
person had to act out
I'm-
every character in the Lord of the Rings story, like the whole, like Sauron all the way through to Gollum, all the way through to Aragorn, Boromir, and all the other voices, you
Yeah,
would
Whisper,
soon get
Whisper.
mixed up.
Whisper.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna say this right now. Not every game master or player has to actually
No.
particularly voice every single freaking character like Matt Mercer does in Critical Role with
No,
his
no.
fellow voice
You
actors.
can't do it.
We-
I
we-
could name
no.
other people, but yeah.
I mean, for some of us, we can throw our voices about to be more or less
Oh.
different people, but not all of us can do
You
that.
don't really
So
have to change
by-
a voice. You can change the
No.
tone or
you can change the tone
Oh, you
of
can
it.
change the tone, yeah.
If you know the character's kind of suave, you might want to make it seem like joyful and playful and be like, "Hey there." Or if you think they're very serious, they'll probably be formal and be like,
Yeah.
"Well, welcome to sit here. You need to be here for a moment of time. Please wait." Blah 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 blah. You know.
Yeah.
So there's
It's
a tone
really
to
difficult
it
when
too.
you have so many NPCs to actually look after, and change amongst them all, like from Elrond all the way through to Galadriel and all the way to Arwen to Theo to you know what I mean? Like there's
Oh my
so
god,
many.
Morwen's title though, that is way too fucking
would-
long. I'm sorry, but
But all the way through that, it's difficult to actually be able to like remember like how you acted that person out beforehand. Yeah, but to the first half of the question, will there be any NPCs in the future which will be acted out with an attitude? Yes, there will be several.
oh, okay, fair
And
enough.
BVS, just to clarify, when I got headbutted and got the max damage, that was it. My health points was 0 at that point.
Yes, he was unconscious. Some
Yeah,
life
that
support.
headbutt was it. It was
Yeah, and I
She
just
did
said to him
30
earlier,
Yeah,
points
just
that's the
damage.
difference
explain to that.
between that's the difference between MERP and some other like role-playing tabletop.
Yeah, when you
I
hit.
I think
systems
it might
because-
be Dungeons and Dragons or something like
Mm,
that.
like
so-
D&D.
Well, Dungeons and Dragons is like you get hit by a certain amount of hit points, and that's that, and then it's all the DM's kind of at their point if they want to make it descriptionary, like you get grazed here a bit or you thing, but
Yeah.
there's all set depending on what skills are being used. They will
Yeah,
do
and I
a
think
certain
that's
amount of
the same
damage.
for
But
Pathfinder
MERP
as
is like
well.
you have certain amount of weapons or what magic, whatever you're doing, and then they, depending how you roll, will determine if you get criticals or non-criticals or anything. And sometimes depend because of the health of the people, it's just
Yeah,
one roll can just determine, oh, you're now dead.
Yeah.
One
yeah, but,
critical, done.
yeah,
You're dead.
yeah. If I remember correctly, with like other tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons, anything that anything that's doubled the hit points that you have remaining, obviously you're gone, basically. If it's over the amount that you have and stuff like that.
Yeah, MERP is much more graphical and much more. The whole world is so much more in depth.
Yeah,
In
it is.
depth.
It is very scary. I mean, out of all of us, if I remember correctly, I have the most HP. If I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the most
Out
amount
of-
of hit points. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can still easily lose that amount of hit
Oh,
points
instantly.
instantly with one
instantly.
hit, possibly,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
not two, because
especially not having no armor on.
It's not.
oh,
It's
indeed, yeah.
it's not the same as like Dungeons and Dragons where you can say if I've got 30 hit points, I'll stand in front of a dragon and he does like 26 points damage and that's it. In MERP, it'll be a case of you stand in front of the dragon and you get what we call an E class, like an E critical. In classification goes A, B, C, D, and E. And in E1, you just roll the dice and then that's it. You just vaporized, irregardless of how many hit points, whether you had 5 or 500. The result is just carnage. So it's much more tougher to survive in MERP than it is to survive in a Dungeons and Dragons scenario.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I just got an email through for another question.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
As we were
nice.
speaking.
nice.
So,
I would like to know what that is now.
What is your guys' plan for the quest? What is your main quest now?
We can't. There's a lot we can't say, guys.
We
I
can't
don't think
say
any
that,
of us know what the
unfortunately.
quest is. I honestly, I don't think any person will say we've got to do this because none of us actually know what we're supposed to be doing. We're literally
No,
following
none of us.
Well,
I'm
the
gonna.
story
where we
of
are in the
Lord of the
recording, we
Rings.
can, where we are in the recording that's been posted,
Yeah, we
We're
cannot.
just preparing for the
this moment
worst.
of
That's
time.
it.
we can see that where we are in the recording, we've just left.
No. You've just got there.
You would just.
We've just arrived at
Recording.
Lothlorien, so we will probably try and get an audience with Lady Galadriel. Whether that will happen,
But yeah, but that's not the quest. That's just something that you should really be doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
The main thing,
Well,
like,
the
when we
quest
started
thing-
off, ours was just to deliver a letter to the king under the hill, and then after that, it's been to search for information in.
Yeah, I'm gonna
and how we
say-
bugged it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this: the quest thing. We have no idea what that is.
I don't think there is a
unfortunately.
real quest thing.
No, because
more
I
just
feel
go
like
with what you
we
want.
we're
lost.
basically doing
There,
our
there
own
is
thing.
there is an underlining quest. The adventurers are being steered down a certain path.
Mm.
But
Obviously.
it's
And,
not it's not
obviously for
relevant
us-
to them. It's not
us,
it's
the
not
adventurers,
relevant to all of them, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't think I personally think without knowing the quest, I don't think any of us are going to be staying with each other.
Probably
See, that's
not.
the only real issue.
Yeah, because
Theo has pretty much from the get-go said he's going to get his stuff and he's going. He's had enough. He's going to get his stuff and going. And keeps getting put on a different thing each and every time. Now he's gone to Lothlorien and he knows there's something else that's going to happen again. He's going, oh, I'm going to say no. Just go.
Mm.
Say no and go.
No and go.
Really what I mean.
They are being steered down certain paths by some
unknown force.
unknown forces, kind of like pushing them in a certain direction. And they're all probably well aware of it, but they're failing to acknowledge it.
I think as players we're well aware of it. I don't think
Yeah.
as in characters they would have any.
In
real-
character,
In character, maybe not, but yeah.
in character, not so much. But for Zabby, she has, let's say, an inkling that something's up. I guess you could say. For Zabby, anyway.
And as normal, Estelle knows a lot. So
Yeah, Estelle knows fucking a lot more than we do. That's for sure.
Which is why we all end up getting injured.
No, you
I try not
fibber.
to.
I try not to.
Try not.
What? We
You're
all
not
end,
helping
that's why we all
yourself
end up
there.
injured. I try not to.
You're not helping yourself there, mate.
Yeah.
Zabby, what did you expect? No, another question. Zabby, what
Okay.
did you expect to happen with the
The-
steam pumped
Oh god, that
corridor?
Oh,
I think they're on about the thing that
the
exploded.
boiler. Yeah.
The
Oh,
boiler.
the boiler?
What were you expecting to happen with it?
Can we not talk about this?
'Cause in the recording, you wanted it.
I think
like, the
you were
water to
trying-
flood down and
I
And
wanted
try
to
and kill the lava,
basically
yeah.
stop the water flow. I basically wanted to, like,
harden
Like-
the lava a little bit, didn't
It
you?
was like kill the
yeah, I
lava.
wanted to cool it, yeah.
How would you
wanted
have got across the other side? Because it was still 10 foot up with no ledge.
Yeah, with somebody's freaking help.
I don't know if you would have got across. I think that probably would have been the worst one.
Yeah, I was trying to find. I was only trying to find a way to actually, I don't know, stop the flow and somehow let the water come loose. I didn't expect it to blow up until I realised that it was going to. So
She realised she wasn't proficient in mechanics.
shut your face, Theo.
Right, engineering, steam engines, anything like.
BBS has got another one. Are there any character levels in MERP?
There are.
There's loads.
Yes,
Currently,
Yes.
we're all around about level 5.
Yes,
Five
I
or
believe-
6, yeah.
Yeah, 5 or 6. We're at 5 or 6 at the moment.
You do.
so-
After the recording, when I say, okay, we'll call it there, you don't hear it, but I say, everybody automatically starts shouting, experience!
Well, no, they can do that
That's
during the
true.
recording as well, though. It's like,
Hey?
first time experience. It's like, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you killed something experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I
Sometimes
distribute
we do.
experience points for that actual segment.
Yeah.
And and it's not a huge amount because I have to balance it with the progression of the story.
Mm.
But yes, you do get experience points, and you start off as level 1, and you work your way up, and the all the way through the adventure, the thing that's playing on everybody's mind, which they don't normally voice, is what level is he?
Yeah.
It's
How
a
strong-
measuring
how
system to
strong
say how
do you
strong
reckon
he
he
is.
is?
Like, I wonder what level he is. That's what they're all secretly saying to each other. What level's she and what level's this? And I
He's a
don't tell
level
them what the
7,
level
don't
is.
touch him.
I don't tell them what the level is of anything. But
Not until
level,
we've killed it, anyway.
not until you've killed it. Yeah, but level is everything. Level is everything.
Indeedy do.
Like most things, you do go from 1 to 10, and that's like and then after, like that's your introduction kind of thing, like your class, your class level. When you get past level 10, then you move into class job levels, in which case it becomes a little bit more advanced, and it doesn't stop. It just keeps on going up and up and up into the hundreds, in some instances. But a typical adventure is around about level 3, 4 to start off with, and then should steadily increase up to around about level 8, 9.
Oh boy, ain't that gonna be freaking fun?
A campaign like this, you expect them to start at around about level 1, and say like it started off all nicely, on the boat, and then into Rivendell, and it was like, oh, this is like a holiday camp, this thing.
Nope,
Um,
that's a freaking lie.
And then you take them into somewhere like Dol Guldur, and that's when they start, like, around about 5 and 6, they start hitting Dol Guldur, and then you would expect them to end the campaign coming up to or just on level 10.
I mean, with each of our classes, there are ways for each class to get more experience points if they do
As
what
their
they're
class.
supposed to. Yeah,
Yeah.
if they work as their class. Like, so Animus, who casts magic and all that, and is able to do
Healing
that
and,
sort of crap.
yeah, Q wounds and
A scout who's able to pick lock and stealth and
steel.
detect crap and still, it's
Disarm,
like,
yeah,
you know,
destroy traps and
a
stuff like that.
warrior who would be probably in the midst of
Be the
actually killing
tank.
everything. It'd
Yeah.
be the main thing, getting all the blows and being able to do all the damage.
Yes, and like,
They are special.
oh, you do get bonuses for discovering treasure, for rescuing people, for solving puzzles, and for and basically exploration. Exploration. The exploration one is your base one. That's the one I initially give out at the end of the adventure of that segment. So I say, depending on how far they've travelled and how far they've explored, that is your base experience bonuses. What have you discovered along the way? And then I'll add bonuses on top of that, depending on what encounters they've had, who they've spoken to, what have they found, what have they solved, and then there'll be an extra bonus on top of that, depending on the outcome. And usually they don't get much in the way of an outcome because it never goes in a favourable way. But if it does in the future, then they will get an awful lot of big bonuses if the outcomes are very, very favourable.
Yeah.
Not too many casualties.
Hopefully.
Mentioning casualties, another question.
Mhm.
Why did we kill Winston and not keep him alive to ask questions?
Ah,
What do you think I was doing? And the storm killed him! It's like,
I'm sorry. What, how long was that preservation spell for?
6 hours.
5 hours.
And
God.
how are we going to ask questions to someone who's unconscious?
Exactly.
We carry him to a safe spot and then ask
You
him
really
questions after
thought we
5
were
hours.
going to carry something? It's going to be a nightmare to carry a body to get somewhere and then wait 5 hours.
Hey, there was like no choice in the situation. It was like he wasn't
You
gonna
could have
stop
not used that
preposition.
spell.
And then he would have continued to shoot at people. I
You
don't
could
know.
have-
I
you
didn't
could have
know.
disarmed
I thought
them.
I'm
preservation
gonna
would be
There are
good.
many other ways
That
of
is a good
killing
point.
them.
I'm gonna say that is a good point, but I
part?
doubt he would tell us anything, so it was better off him dead.
Theo would have made him talk, no problems. Honest to God, he would have.
Okay.
He could have made him talk.
I could have kept the body
well, you could have kept the
Mm.
body, yeah, it was
Really,
full of arrows,
Estelle?
but
for.
Yeah.
Really?
You could have
No,
had it on your
never mind.
backpack, I'm sure.
Oh my
I was gonna
god.
say I was gonna but there's no spell like that, so never mind.
the chances are there would have been, you just don't know it.
yeah, I just don't know it yet. So why?
I mean, if we did actually find another way
So the reason
around
we didn't
that,
keep it is because Estelle got a bit gun ho and went straight into preserve the
Gung-ho.
body and didn't really think that maybe there was going to be a question asked her. Then obviously I
But
would
in a
just pick him up.
sense, like he wasn't.
I think
He's not gonna
with
tell
no,
everything.
I think when you did that and I brought him out in front of Nostriel, and I think when Whisper was going to call you Winston then.
No, BBS,
Vincent,
he
no.
would have been killed not by Nostromo either way. So.
I think you then realised because he's under 5 hours, there's no point carrying him around. So you ended up shooting him as well.
I don't remember shooting
I,
him.
I was quite
It's
surprised that I was quite surprised that the listeners, because the way it played out, I thought the first thing the listeners would be, Estelle doesn't want him to talk.
Well, Theo
Oh
thought that,
wow!
so-
Now you put that on the table. Wow! Now you're just gonna make everyone suspect Estelle 24/7 every day
Well,
of
you
the
could
week.
already open the doors, and you were like number one target.
No.
Honest to God, I was thinking about trying to hit you and take you down.
Ooh.
Honest to God, I thought this is getting a bit ridiculous now. Until you put your hands
I'm-
on the door, and
I
I
don't
thought,
care.
oh, she can't be that
Like
clever.
I said
Fight, it
before,
would've been a
like I
fun
said,
time indeed.
and like I said before, even if we did actually somehow knocked him out and then him getting regaining consciousness and all that, I sincerely doubt that he would not tell us an inch.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
ways
he's a
for us
strong
on-
guy, right?
make
He was
people
tough,
easy
but
now.
he was strong
He's a
guy.
freaking bard that
I'm a
knows his
freaking bard.
But he was much stronger with a bunch of levels more
He's only
than
a
us.
few
and he
levels
was
above
like,
us.
he
I'm
had that.
sorry for you, but he knew how to use his freaking magic. Thank you very much.
I know. how to
He
use
had
magic,
specific
freaking
magics
I just
that
don't
were
use them.
better for combat situations. Theo
Yeah.
just has the essence ways.
Oh yeah. But knows of people who has illusionary magic and could have easily formulated a plan for you guys to use it, and is very good at doing graphical stuff to people.
What the absolute fuck?
He
Graphical.
would have really tortured him. If he didn't want to speak, he would have just been in excruciating pain. No doubt.
See what I have to deal with, guys, in this game. This is what I have to listen to the NDS.
on.
Did we have these big debates as well? It's like,
Yeah, they're going for ages.
They
Yeah.
did. They really did. Like, the guys debate on for this kind of stuff for ages.
because we act on the moment, it's like, oh, we all should have talked about that. We could have done this and that.
Yeah.
Well, too late now, Fluff.
Very few times that I actually do this myself. I just think, screw this. Let's just...
No, you just go up in a corridor and then go into a little roof bit and then disappear and get shot with an arrow.
That is true, actually. That was your own fault there,
It's like half a
Dillitrass.
minute of damage or something. It was like,
It's usually that situation, or somebody will say to me afterwards when they finish recording, I've got a spell to do that.
Yes, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
this as well.
Like, well, it's a bit late now. If you only knew that 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this
Right.
right now. Honest to God, I could have done a certain spell, but that was a bit of a boo boo on my
But
part.
it is one of those
sorry.
things where we act in the moment. So it's this we
Yeah.
act in the moment and then we think about it after. We don't ever
And
go in
that's
with
the
a
other
plan.
thing as well that could be also good for preparation and stuff like that. Know your freaking spells.
Well, it's knowing them, but it's also knowing how to use them in a different situation, what they're actually
Yeah,
classified
and
as.
Yes.
freaking read them because
Very generalized.
Yeah, and freaking read them because, like I said, there's a particular spell that I had which I didn't use, so that was an oopsie for
Mhm.
me because I read it and I'm like, well, fuck, I could have used it to such and such.
A lot of the magic in Middle Earth online, Middle Earth roleplay is
But the worst thing is,
very
a
generalised.
hobbit like myself is not very good with magic, so
No,
it would have failed
hobbits are
even.
not very good at magic. So that's why they're so fascinated when they see Gandalf come to town.
Yeah, true. Any questions?
Why did we ever sit in the throne?
Oh God!
Oh my god. Like, I've been actually waiting on this one.
Oh
we
my
we
God!
all wanted to go sit in the throne eventually.
Well, actually,
did
when we all
not.
spoke about it afterwards, we all said we should have pushed Zelly into the throne and seen what
No, I
happened.
didn't. I disagreed with that.
I said we should have because,
Yeah,
like,
I disagreed because she's the one opening all the doors. And what if
yeah,
some
and
cat
that was the
ate in and killed us
exact,
all?
that was the exact reason why I said we should have just pushed her into the throne and seen what happened. Because of the fact that she was able to open doors. That's what had me. I was like,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish we would
she would have been
done
fine if we
something
threw
with
her on
those
a door.
chairs. I like knew that was a puzzle that we needed to fix. You know, those thrones.
It wasn't really a puzzle. I mean, I know what they did now.
I know what they do.
So,
Yeah, I know what they
Oh
do.
really? Oh
yeah,
crap! I don't know what they do.
I know what they do.
What
yeah.
do they do? Can we get told that?
Can you get told that?
Yeah, what the thrones do.
Well, you got no intention of going back there. Anyway, going back there would be pretty much suicide now. Anyway,
Yeah,
you were
well,
let
yeah.
in and let out, and then if you tried to return, then it'd be brute force. If they players sat, because they were north, south, east, and west, and they were like earth, wind, fire, and water or ice.
Do you think that would have been like a spoiler to just tell us like we would just never know? And
I mean, it'd
then
be better.
just-
But yeah, it might be an idea to say you just never know. You never know.
Yeah.
But I want to know.
I mean,
I
I can
know,
move on.
I
I
would
can move
wanna
on to
know.
another question very quickly if you wish.
No!
Go on then. Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know.
I know what they do, and I
Done?
thought they were really, really good. It
Well,
does have a
since we're
connection
not
with
gonna
something
be-
that happened in the past.
We're not going to be going
Not
backwards, so
there was an instant. There was a situation that took place in Mickleborough.
yeah.
Yes, which is connected to the thrones. That's all I can say.
Ah.
I figured when I read what they do, I figured all this out now. And I
Yeah,
know the projection of the wraith
yeah,
came from there.
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
As
yeah.
in, when you sit in a throne, not only does it connect you to the wraith, it also
Projects
you
them.
in the
It's like a
location
projection,
you
like a
want to
like a
go.
hollow projection kind of thing.
oh.
And they're facing. If you notice, they're not facing north, south, east, and west.
Which is the 4 areas of the 4 witch kings.
Oh, with Winston, that right? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
No?
You remember in the bed and breakfast.
And I
When
was
we all
talking to
freaked out.
that image.
Oh!
Yes, the image.
Even though even though I wasn't there, yeah, that
The wraith the
show
ring
that
wraith wasn't
image,
actually
yeah.
there in physical form. What it was, he was Indul Guldur sitting in his throne, astally projecting himself to that location because he was facing north.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, he knew I was trying to spy on him. Which is doesn't bode well.
Yeah.
If he was a projection, they still knew I was
So,
spying
the, so
on
the,
him.
the principle is that if you sit in a throne facing north, then you can astally project yourself somewhere in the region to the north, and to the south, and to the east and the west, with a degree of accuracy of like a couple, like you know, depending on the level of the person sitting in the throne. Yes, the people, the person you were trying to contact or communicate with would be aware of your presence, but everybody else would not be unless they decided to like detect essence on that region or zone.
Mm.
So it was a spying tool. So it's basically a spying tool, or a communicational tool for your spies.
Mm.
Yes. Which makes you think about the one that was actually facing, because remember they were all facing outwards. They weren't facing inwards, were they?
Yep.
Yeah, so if the one facing towards like the west projected over Lothlorien and Misty Mountains and the Shire and all the rest of it.
Yes, it was pretty good. Another
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Why? No. Estelle, why? No, sorry, let me try that. Zelly, why does Estelle seem to always get the wrong end of the picture? E.g., when discussing about the mercenaries dressed in black, you thought they were the guys on the path to Muckaberry. And when you saw the eye in Doldogor, you thought it teleported Theo when he walked through it. Why
You
do
don't.
you
You don't.
jump to
Because you don't know
conclusions?
anything. Anything could happen in the world of Mirkwood. World of the Middle Earth. How was I supposed to know?
The world of Merp.
I know, I love
in
it.
Middle
Though.
Earth.
It's like
Just in Middle Earth.
it's an eye on the corridor, and you can see the other side. But you know, you jump to the
Because
conclusion.
what
Oh, it's
I
a
was
teleportation.
told. No, because what I was told is I saw Lee go past the eye and then he disappeared, like
See that?
he gone invisible. So I thought, oh no, he went into a different dimension. I went to like the worst possible solution that could be. He went to a different dimension.
That's what
and
they're
it's
asking.
with the evil people that I was hearing in the head. Like, you know,
Why do
'cause I
you
think
always
at that
envision the
point
worst
I was
situation?
hearing- yeah.
See that?
I thought-
That's
To be
exactly
honest, Theo
what
does that as well. So.
that's exactly what I was saying earlier when I got that question about Dumbledore. It's like we only get told so much. You know, we
Yeah.
don't get
It's our
Wispa.
interpretation.
Wispa
Wispa
gives
is
us the
very Yeah, he's very
So-
stingy with his information that he gives us, so it's kind of very difficult to say, oh, well, it's going to definitely do this, or
No,
I
no, no.
definitely saw that,
See,
or
I don't think. I
this
think
is definitely going to happen if you
I
do
personally
that.
think when I receive information from Whisper, it's okay. I can understand what it's meant to be, but I have to interpret it in a different way of what he's saying.
Mhm.
That's what I mean.
I feel like I have to say, well, okay, so it's the door looks like this, but you can see light beyond it. So it's like, okay, so if the door looks like that, but I can see light beyond it, that means there's probably some sort of magical barrier on this doorway to stop you walking through it. So don't go through it, go around it. You know, there's
Yeah.
ways he says something that you have to interpret it in what you could. You have to jump to the worst possible situation and work your way back up.
Yeah. Like he'll give us information. It's exactly what I was thinking. That's why I thought.
It's the information that
if
you will
you
gather
teleported-
inside. It's supposed to be to conjure the map rules. It's the information. I relate to you the information that you can probably get inside 10 seconds.
Because I think it was that I
You were standing
already
there
was
looking at
hearing
yeah,
what
the eye.
from the eye, right? At that
Yeah.
point.
Hmm.
So it was literally combined with what I could hear with my perception from that eye, combined with what I just see happen to Lee, made me think of that.
Just the immediate
They-
conclusion.
Yeah, I was like,
He's gone.
the worst. I was like, oh no, Thea disappeared. Thea, no. Like I was worried that was a thing. That was
But
literally it. Like I don't see
I
where
reiterate. I'll give the listeners a bit of a recap here. Each level of Dol Guldur, and I've mentioned this to the players, like outside recordings, is that each level of it is degreeingly worse. So the first level was at the level of traps, which removed you of like it wasn't there. They weren't there to try. They were there to slow you down and to remove you of your accessories, your bonuses. Then the next one would be a level of brute strength, which was where all the orcs and trolls are. Then the next one was a level of puzzles, which was where the thrones were. And then the next level above that was a level of mental awareness. And as they progressed through the layers in Dol Guldur, by the time that they didn't actually reach the top, but if they did ever reach the top, they would be ready to murder each other because they'd be so paranoid and so suspect of each other that that's the whole purpose of Dol Guldur, is to literally bring you down and to make you so paranoid. That has that effect on you. The whole building itself has that effect on the players and their companions.
It was good being there.
That's not the worst
Zabby.
place. That's not the worst place. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's some good places.
I heard my name.
Yep.
Yes.
Question for you.
Ooh, okay.
Zabby, your attitude when fighting always seems to change. You want to escape, you never want to fight, but then you want to fight and kill. Why?
Ooh,
That's the way you said that.
it's just like let's run away. Let's run away.
I think they're like referring to like
I
you're always cautious and then you want to try to avoid all combat, and then when you're in combat, you're like, yeah, don't mess with me.
I could name another contradiction. I could name another contradiction, which is, can I include that in the question?
Yeah, go on.
I guess
Let
so.
me
Not just the
answer it
fighting.
first, please.
Okay.
No, no.
So the question is that I sometimes change my attitude. My
Personality seems to change between combat and non-combat. Like you want to not get in combat and you want to flee all the time. Like you're very timid in that. But when you're forced into combat, you seem to be more aggressive.
Okay. How can I explain this? I think for me, it kind of depended on the situation of what was happening. In Dol Guldur, obviously, I was stuck in there for like 2 weeks or so. So it would be understandable that I wanted to get out of that fucking place as soon as fucking possible. So, yeah, sometimes I really don't want to cause conflict, let's just say, or get any attention that goes towards the enemy. So I try my best not to get into violent situations. But obviously there are situations where there is no other option and you have to take on the offensive, so when it comes to combat,
So I would have thought just anyone in combat would be a bit more aggressive anyway. I mean, you don't go, hello, slash.
no, it's
Theo
just in
should.
combat. It's just in combat for me. I actually just go into focus mode.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be good. That'd be so good, that though.
Hello, chop chop.
I'll try to remember to do that next time.
It's just when you are faced with no decision to go through but to do conflict, then it's for me, I get into like a serious mode, you could say, or a serious frame of mind. And for me, that only comes out rarely. That does come out rarely when it's combat related. And other times it's just me getting freaking annoyed by the others.
What comes out rarely? What? Is that bit?
Me going into focus mode.
Oh, okay. That part. Okay.
Because obviously in combat you have to concentrate at the task at hand, so you need to focus on what to do and what to not do.
What was that other part that you wanted to say, Zel?
That is kind of linked with like a difference in ways of thinking. It's like, obviously when we've met Zabi and everything, and she's like, we shouldn't be too like, curiosity kills the cat kind of thing.
Yeah,
And then
Spends
goes
ages
to
on
the
the
door
door.
and is like, we need to go.
That was it. You've been to many doors
I'm
before.
scared. I'm not very good with shiny things.
It's amazing. It's amazing what a door can scare them.
Yeah, I like doors. They don't talk
I
back.
like doors.
Not the
BBS.
ones that are freaking glowing. But anyway, yeah, go on.
BBS is asking, say theoretically someone new joins the party, do they start at level 1 or do they start at the same level as the party?
No, we all start at the same level because
You
for
don't
me,
start at the same
at the
level.
average
You don't start at the same level.
Average.
Like,
You
if
start at the
everyone's
average.
level
yeah,
5,
the average level, because I came in quite late within the story, didn't I? Because I was in Doggledore at this point. So basically the average level within the group, which was coming up to, would be, what was it, level 5?
It was level 5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, so for new characters, they will either be the same or just a level above of the party.
It'd be the average level.
It'd be the average of the level of the members
Yeah.
of the party at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the average is around about 5 or 6, then you would start around about 5 and 5
Yeah,
or 6, depending.
if everybody like started their characters like fairly new and starting at level 1,
They wouldn't live.
You would die. You would die instantly if everybody like start at level 1 straight away. So it's always the average level within the party.
Yeah.
Another question for Zabi.
Ooh, okay.
Zabi, you seem to be latched on to Estelle. During Dumbledore, Theo asked you a question. You said you had information that related to the party. Refused to tell it to him, so he walked off. But guaranteed, when Estelle spoke to you, you told it to her. Are you secretly in love? This is what the question says. With Estelle,
Oh my god.
or do you have some sort of kinship with her?
First of all, the love thing? Fuck off!
I would love if that was a thing. That would have been hilarious.
No. I don't even know Estelle that well. Oh my god!
Could've been
Why do people
spying on her.
I could.
No, I'm blushing freaking red right now. Thank you very much for that fucking question.
great.
No. I'm gonna be honest with everybody here. I'm not in love with Estelle. No,
I don't think
not.
it could be portrayed like put across as that. I know there's a few people out there listening thinking maybe Zabi is working for Estelle.
No.
I think that's what the
I'm
second part of the
not.
question is.
Oh, the
No.
second part of the question, yeah, because I've had that
Yeah,
question
like,
as
is there
well.
some sort of
Yeah.
No, I am not working for anybody. I do my own shit.
I didn't even know I didn't even know Estelle. I didn't even know Zabi that well.
You could be like,
No,
yeah,
I'm saying this honestly. I don't know Estelle that well, so how can I work for somebody that I don't know fucking well?
no, but
Seriously.
that
There's
maybe
always
it's a
the
lie.
anonymous boss kind of thing as well.
yeah.
Okay, true, but still.
You
Like
never
you
know.
don't know I'm your boss, but I'm actually your boss. Because we always talk from like a magic veil or something. Or I don't know.
I don't
Only
know.
by letters.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you received any last letters from Rivendell? Letters from Estelle.
But to that question, definitely not in love with Estelle, and definitely not somebody that I would work underneath with.
Well, I have a very
Because
similar question in there.
Okay.
oh no.
This one would be for Dylan Traz and Estelle.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
It's gonna
muting
be
myself here.
interesting.
Okay. So, question says, Dylan Traz, lately you were against. No, Dylan Traz, lately you have been against half elves. You have shown that you do not like them,
Yes.
but lately you have some sort of feelings. It looks like you might be a couple. Is this
Why are people shipping Estelle with people?
Some people already
Zabi and Estelle,
You
Dylan
always
Trust and
end up-
Estelle, Theo and Estelle. It's
Oh, there's no Theo in Estelle. That's never happened, and it never will.
I ship it.
No.
You ship it.
Like
He
it.
ships it.
No.
We ship it.
Silly, those are crack ships right there. I'm
That's
saying it right
right.
now.
It's because I think you two always end up being together. Like, Dylan Chas wanders off, Estelle finds you. Dylan Chas goes and spies on Estelle. Estelle goes and tries to do something with Dylan Chas. I think there's that thing where you two are trying to do with each other. It's like, is there some sort of relationship between you? And I'm sure I bring this up in the recording, actually. I'm pretty sure I say it.
Well,
Did
I don't
you?
know whether you do, but you do say something to somebody.
Oh, you say that we are together a lot and that Theo would put two and two together.
Okay. I can't say too much on this, but there is a recording coming up where Dylan Trask explains a little bit of his past to one of the Merc characters. The whole being around Estelle, Dylan Trask doesn't really care for or even like Estelle. He just doesn't like her. He's only tolerating her. It's like you spend enough time with somebody that you really, really can't stand. You start to kind of tolerate them. And I think by this point, how many weeks, or even have we spent like an entire month together by this
Yeah.
point?
2.5 weeks, I would say.
2.5
No,
weeks.
since
so
since
two,
the, since the King Under the Hill.
two
Oh,
of Lorien.
God. Okay. Yeah.
Because we had 2 week rations, they've all gone now.
So if that's
Yes,
like
pretty much.
2.5, if that's 2.5 weeks, then that's 2.5 weeks of spending almost 24 hours a day with somebody.
Mm.
So going from I really can't feckin' stand you to seeing flicks of kindness, yeah, you kind of start to get used to him. He still doesn't like her. He would still punch her in the face as soon as be nice to her,
So you're saying you haven't got a thing for her?
No.
That's a lie.
That is
I like it. Oh, God.
That's a lie. Lee's shipping Dylan Trust and Estelle.
I'm going to now. You will
dare
ship Theo. He's like some
No.
sort of pervy man. It's like, oh, I'm going to ship everyone else now.
He's a pervy man who's interested in the half elven lady.
I think that's the only time he's really been pervy.
What?
Well,
It's the only time he's really been what?
Pervy.
The people. No, the people.
Herbie.
The
When?
peepee hole.
The people hole.
Oh, the PPO.
Yeah, the people.
I'm liking how we are calling it that because of me.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, BVS also asks, are there plans for any new characters to start with the party?
Any plans for new characters? Yeah, there will be some new characters coming in.
New NPCs, yes?
New NPCs. There'll also be some old NPCs making a return.
Ooh, okay.
Oh wait! Hashtag bring old we back.
Hashtag bring
Oh
all way
my
back.
god, Estelle. You didn't have to shout in our fucking ears.
Sorry.
There will be some old characters
mic
making a
is-
return, and there will be some new ones. Yes,
the old man tapping his nose.
possibly. You
We
never
won't
know.
be doing that.
You never
Well,
know.
that old man who's
Tapped his nose.
what was it?
Tapping his nose.
Yeah, if he's coming back, he's not coming back tapping his nose. He's coming back winking.
Yeah, but we don't know this.
We don't
Yeah,
know
but
this.
he'd be coming back winking anyway. We all know that.
Anyway,
But there will be some new characters coming in. There'll be some old ones making a return. Yes.
yay!
Count him as an old character or new character, even though, like, you know.
I'm not going to say who because then you can sit and you can work it. You can like.
No, I mean,
Obviously, I don't think I'm that.
Sorry, choking there.
I'm
Choking.
not that bothered who is. I'm just gonna say this. I am not that bothered who might be arriving and who not. So I'm just gonna leave the ball game just there.
But there'll be some new ones and there'll be some old ones coming back. I'm not going to say
Yeah.
who because you never know who it is. But there will be some old ones and there'll be some new ones.
Yes. Okay.
I have a question for Theo. It
Yay.
says, Theo, you always seem to be kind to the children, but never to the adults. Why?
yeah, why?
That's a good question.
Well, it's kind of. It may be a good question, but it's kind of obvious as well. I mean, adults,
Yeah.
if they're like already half dying, you know, they've already lived their lives. It's like, well, it's a harsh thing to say and all that, but if you had a choice between saving an adult and a child, you'd go for the child because they've still got their life to live. So for Theo, it's more like, well,
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna give you that.
I've got an interesting one for you. And this is something we kind of slightly talked about due to a different situation, which we can't talk about.
Mhm.
Now, Dylan Trust isn't as old as certain other elves,
hmm.
you know. So why haven't you been kind to him as of late? Because you
He's been very kind to you. He treats you as like a young adult. He's not treating you as a kid. He treats you as a young adult. So he's trying to give you everything you would probably need from him. But he's not babysitting you.
Yeah, because you're kind of an adult, but you're not an.
Yeah, you're
Nope.
you're in that point of between adult age
He's a
into
tween.
elves.
He's a tween.
So, yeah, you're like a tween. Tween. So he's giving you like free roam almost, but he's trying to guide you as well.
I have never gotten that from you.
You've been playing along with it though, so that, you've obviously not realised you've got it, but you've picked it up throughout either conversations that we've had or throughout me suggesting you do something instead.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that instead.
Okay. I kind
there
of
are-
get
there
where
are-
you're going now.
There are moments where I don't want to tell you what to do because that'd be like, I'm your dad, do this
I'm
now.
your daddy. Who's your daddy? Who's not actually your daddy because
Who's
he's
your
human?
daddy?
Because he's human and you're a full elf.
So, you know, the reason he's kind to the kids is because they've not lived long enough to do anything wrong yet. You know, they've still got their life to change around the rest of the Merc world. So, yeah, that's why.
Oh.
So, although, you know, it's not anything like, oh, does he like only prefer young people? It's like, no, nothing like that. It's literally old people die quite often. Young people can
That's a
die.
good deduction. That.
Anyway,
Well, they do, don't they?
okay.
I mean, we've got all the battles that go on. It's always the men.
Anyway, BVS was actually meaning of player characters. No, I don't think.
No, we
No,
at the
there's
moment we have no plans to bring any more player characters into this part. We're
Yeah,
so far
for
in the
me,
story.
I was the last.
Now,
For
so
now.
far into the story, and the story is halfway through. The saga's halfway through, so expect another 60 episodes at least.
So if there are players that want to play Merc with us or play a roleplay game,
Mhm.
They need to book in for doing Dragonlance. Is
They have
that
to
correct?
book in for playing Dragonlance. Yes, there's still
Yeah,
a few places
Dragonlance.
left.
That's a good. That's going to be an
There's
interesting
Dragonlance
one.
is
few
going to be.
characters left to be taken.
Yes.
There's about 4 or 5 I think left to be taken.
Who is left to be taken, Wisp?
Well, they'll
Ooh.
find out on.
They'll
Twitch,
find
isn't
out
it?
on the
This
Also,
is a
what?
MERP Q&A. This is MERP.
Not Dragonlance.
There is a few places. There's a
I
few
want to get
positions
through
left.
these questions so
He's got
bad.
loads. Yeah.
Okay.
I have so many.
What's the next one?
Next one is right. Theo, why are you an idiot?
Only
That was the
Rich
entire
cackle for the
question.
win.
That's the
That
whole
was
question, was it?
entire question.
Well,
Theo, why are you an idiot?
take it away. Go on.
I don't know.
Theo. Why do you
Okay.
think you're an idiot?
I think people are referring to Theo as an idiot because he's more direct in what he does.
Mm-hmm.
I think he speaks his mind quite often, and although it may be right or it may be wrong, he says it and then goes and does it. Yeah, he doesn't care whether or not it's a
think
bad
so,
idea.
yeah.
He will go and do it. I think that's why he's an idiot.
This is just the bit that comes to mind is in the corridor of traps when he says, "I'm just gonna go walking off."
Literally, he told someone else not to do it, and he goes and does it anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Okay, that's a dumbass thing to do. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
he doesn't think about his own well-being in that way. I don't think. I think he thinks more about other people's well-being. So it's like, just be careful not to go too far ahead because there could be traps on the walls or floors.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god, you guys are taking too long in there, and it carries on around the corner. It's like, oh shit, there's a trap.
Do you think that because like
Yeah, lost the cooking pot.
Do you
Oh,
think
screw the cooking pot.
Theo's used to being on his own? Like, I'd say a lot of our characters are used to being by themselves. We
Yes.
still don't know
Be
how to
stuck
work
in a
as
bar
That's a very no.
24/7.
It's a very typical guy because Estelle all she does is just day and night work the bar. Theo is basically a nomadic horse trader.
Yep.
Zabi is an on the run hobbit burglar thief. And Dylan Trust is just a very lonesome kind of like hanging out in trees and spying and doing all that kind of stuff.
you say that as a lonesome character.
Lonesome character. He is though. He doesn't mingle a great deal, does he? Yeah.
Dylan Trask. He
Dylan
just like
Trask.
hanging out in trees.
He just hangs out in trees and keeps and kind of like sneaks around a bit. So all the party members all have that in common. They all have that in common, and they've been put into a situation. They've been brought together as a group, and that's where the alchemy starts because he's so used to doing things by themselves and they've never had to take responsibility for somebody else in the group, and now they have to try and that's where the reactions start. That's where the reactions all start.
I think that's where like we actually get off with doing things to each other. Nobody else realizes it. Like, sorry to bring back the fact that I get Jay to get ourselves stabbed in the hand.
Stabbed in the hand, yeah.
Yeah, stabbed in the hand and then actually getting away with it. Like, that could have been me, but actually it was you.
Lol.
Well, yeah, lol. So I think that's where we're kind of lucky in that respect. Like, that is exactly what people who aren't accustomed to working in a team would do. They'd be like, well,
Yeah,
this could
hopefully-
actually hurt me quite sufficiently, but this guy's like dumb enough to actually do
Yeah,
it for me.
but
so
I'm saying so the whole saga could be viewed from the point of they will complete the story or complete the saga when they actually like form a real team.
I think the only character out of all of the characters that we're working with right now that actually will work well as a cohesive unit is actually Mullen. That's really sad because she's an NPC.
Theo doesn't get along with Morin as well. He likes to. He wants to.
I
But
think
he understands
I
her a
ship
little bit
Morwen
better.
and Theo together
That's
too.
not what I'm saying. Like, Mullen will listen to what you have to say to her, and if she thinks it's a good idea, then yeah, she's going to follow it. If she doesn't think it's a good idea, she'll tell you why, and then she'll give you another option.
Or she'd just be like, well, I don't really mind either way.
Yeah, I don't think she has
So she
like, a
does. She
deciding
actually,
opinion.
yeah, but she would
She
still,
goes with the majority most of the time.
yeah, but she would still work well as the member of like a second half to a team or to the team. You know, she is able to work as a team. We not so much.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
she works more as a team because we're telling her where to go and what to do.
There's that,
Well,
but
Like,
there's
we're
always
saying like, can you do
yeah.
this and can you do that?
Yeah,
Well,
there's
yeah.
always situation as well. Always was an individual, like a lonesome kind of person as well. So when she was introduced to the team, e.g. Estelle and Theo, she had to work with them through the Goblin Caves and so on. When she accomplished that and actually became a part, like when you started recognizing her as a team member, she completed her objective, and that's why she kind of left the group.
Who,
You
Morwin?
know, I reckon no.
Olwyn,
I reckon
Olwyn.
Olwyn.
I appreciated her pretty much from the get go,
Yeah.
but I don't think it ever came across that way.
Hmm.
Because
you-
you kicked her.
Kicking her.
I find it
Yeah,
still what?
before
I
I
didn't
even
kick.
came along, you kicked her multiple times.
I kicked her once.
I think it
Liar.
interesting.
No, once when she was sleeping in the old man Rick Shingles' house. See, that's in my post-it notes.
Like,
Oh, with shingles.
I find it interesting
Jingle.
that you guys initially asked, Olby, right, can you scout ahead and do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? And very few times have either myself or Sabi been asked to do the same. You know,
Yeah, there are reasons for that though.
what, you agreed that we're not going to come back?
Well, not so much that. It's more
She's
with
probably praying
you.
for that.
You've already disappeared on your own multiple times and
Yeah, and got
ended up
shot.
injured.
and me.
Zabby,
One time I did that. One time.
Theo would think like Zabby would just get caught straight away. No, he doesn't. He just feels like Zabby would get caught.
What, in one way or another?
Yeah, he just feels like something will happen no matter if he sends her off without him knowing exactly where she's gone. Something bad's gonna happen to her, and then that's it. He just has that horrible feeling with it. So, well, that's
Aw, he
every
cares
time.
about Savvy.
Every time you say, "Do you want me to scout up?" he goes, "You can go with Dylan Traz."
Ah, so
You know,
somebody
I
else
always
as
try
well.
to stick both of you together. It's like, oh, if you go off on your own, you're gonna get caught. He doesn't believe because he's not really met a lot of hobbits, you see, so he doesn't understand how sneaky and stealthy they can be. He understands they're supposed to be like really hard to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Because they're small.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean like an orc's not going to see a small object because they're not exactly tall either.
Right.
Or the goblin.
Literally.
Oh, but
Goblins,
that's so
goblins.
adorable. Theo is worried about little Zabby.
Could also be that you're female as well. So
Oh, sexist.
Yeah,
nuts.
because
Pretty much, he is
hasn't hit me
Rohirrim.
yet because I am a female.
yeah, he doesn't hit women. At all.
The only thing that's on my side is my sex card.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Ah.
Sex/gender card.
He just holds it up in front of him. Nope.
Nope.
When I say sex, I mean
Denied.
biological sex, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Go on.
Let me get another one.
Next one. Next one.
Next one is.
I'm still laughing about why is Theo an idiot.
Theo.
Idiot.
You'll love
got
this
me.
one even more. Then you'll like this
Oh
one.
no.
Okay.
Theo, why do you pick on Estelle?
Oh.
Now I don't think I pick on her. So the others are
No,
up to
we're
answer
like a
this for
married
you.
couple. We argue against each other.
Oh, the arguments are great.
The argument's real. Yeah, the arguments are real.
The arguments happen in and out of game.
They do.
It's unreal.
I have to admit, like, watching the two of them argue, or
It's the
not
best
watching
bit.
them, but listening to them argue is so entertaining because there's so many different arguments that happen
Yeah.
during the course of one recording between Sally and Lee and Estelle and Theo that you just tend to, like, I sometimes have trouble differentiating between is that Estelle and Theo arguing or is that Estelle and is that
That's
Sally
Sally and
They-
Lee.
yeah.
arguing, you know?
When they get into a roleplay session like that, like the one in Mickleborough, where they were literally just going at it each other, all the way through to the campfire,
Oh, but the worst thing is, I always feel really bad when I'm doing it. I feel like
I think
personally,
it's
I feel
great.
I'm always
I think it's
really
great.
bad. I feel like I'm really
I just
I
weird to be
laugh
able to put
about
out.
it, but then when it gets to points like calling someone like horrible names, then I feel so bad because it's like, oh,
Do,
I
do you know
didn't
the
mean
best
it.
of it? Do you know the best of it? We all enjoy the role playing so much,
Yeah,
I
I
just have
really
to sit
do.
back. When you
and
get yeah,
we get so into it.
it's this
that
easy job for me.
We do honestly get
He
so into
sits
it.
back with popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get so into the actual kind of like role playing session part that if we do end up saying something really bad, like we will apologize to each other immediately after it.
Yeah.
Like after we've kind of put the stop button on, and then like I think there was an instance when you might have said something kind of mean towards me, Sally, and you said, "Oh, I'm so sorry for that," or
Mm.
I said it to you, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that," and you're like, "What?" You know, like we don't
Don't be
really, and
sorry.
at the time we don't initialize it. Like we do actually forget that we're not talking to each other. It's our characters talking to like each character.
Yep.
It's
And
good.
then by the time we come back to do the next recording, it's like, okay, so I was calling you a what last week? What was I calling you last week? Or was I calling you by your name, or was I calling you by that other name?
I'm really like I do enjoy the roleplay sessions because then I can just sit back and just read the next chapter while you're arguing it out. I can say like, okay, what happens next? And I can take like
Lol.
15 minutes for you to. Yeah, it's great. But like, when it comes to the Dragonlance, I'm really looking forward to because it's going to be a bigger group and a bigger party and a lot more different, a bigger pot of chemistry, so to speak. You know, it's going to be a good mix-up. I'm really looking forward to the role play in that.
Next one, right?
Maybe to sit back and actually read the Lord of the Rings when we're having an RPG session. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Let's do one after this one while we're at it.
Okay.
Every time
can
Theo
tell.
tries to catch a fish, he fails. Is this part of his character, or is it just an epic fail? Unfortunately, it is literally just an
Epic
fail.
fail.
Luck is not on his side every time he fishes.
Yeah, Theo has no luck in this game at all.
Aww.
You could,
Lee
yeah,
has
you
no
can.
luck in this
You
game.
can.
Lee has no luck in this game. So Theo has
But
no luck in life.
there was times where you did have
luckless
pretty good
one.
luck for like a day or two.
I had some really good luck when I was looking at nothing.
Yeah.
That's
Dice
the
is good
only
at that.
Yeah, I'm like brilliant when I look around for
But
nothing.
when you need it most, it's like
Yeah.
10.
The,
and then, like,
yeah, Theo
"Fuck."
is the doesn't have an awful lot of luck. He's not the luckiest person in Middle Earth, and that comes across in his attitude and in his
Makes you wonder how he's able to have so much and lose it all so quickly.
But you know,
Well, there you go. Luck.
I just want to say, like, Theo might not have a lot of luck, but his horses sure as hell do. They're living the great life, God knows where.
Well,
Oh
hope
my
so.
god.
he's got no
As far as we're
clue.
aware, they could have died.
Nah.
Say.
Those horses are going off on adventures. They're galloping across the country,
But,
saving
One of
people,
them is stuck in the
fighting
pony.
or.
They should be rescued by now.
Nah, that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
horses
probably
are
in
doing.
Riverdale by now.
Yeah, let's hope so.
But yeah, Theo is Theo's luck.
Ran out as soon as
Yeah, kind
Theo's
of.
luck ran out pretty much when he was born.
born
when
in
Theo,
the
yeah, when
He's
Theo
not a
was
very lucky
created,
person.
That was it.
He's not a very lucky
Mm.
person. He wasn't born under a lucky star at all. But that might change. That might change.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think his background's luck at all either. So it's like
No.
his entire life is literally he's never had any luck.
So,
So that's one of the reasons he doesn't believe in his chances and lucks. And,
yeah. He doesn't believe in chance or ability or all that kind of thing. Everything
Mm.
seems to be just like the worst kind of situation. But
Well, I play as
that's not,
much as possible.
no, I'm not saying it's going to change, but there's a strong possibility that could change in the future.
Yeah, doubtful. Not with Theo's luck. The only thing he's got lucky about is finding some drink where he can actually drink it and then have one good swig of it and just go unconscious.
Hey, so I've got a good question. And this is from Dylan Trask to Estelle. Are you finally satisfied now that you've read and seen that little bit of freaking paper you've been annoying me about since the
God.
crap. Where was it?
I'm always satisfied when I get an answer that I was needing. Yes.
Will you now leave me alone?
No, because there's probably many more things you're probably keeping. If the next time you're keeping stuff from me, the next time you keep stuff from me, I'll keep asking until I get it. So it's like, you can't get away.
You
I'm
do
sorry.
know that I'm not going to tell you.
I'm so like tempting to say like, do you need reminding of? But that's a spoiler. So.
Mm-hmm.
But are you knowing which part I'm talking about?
Yes.
The most recent thing we did last week.
Oh. Yes, but fuck.
We both spent at once. Yay! High five.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I'm remembering what we did last week, but I swear to God, I'm not going to tell you. Never
Dennis, I
going to
will
tell.
never leave you alone.
Well, you do realize that I've. Oh, I
You
can't
do
say that.
realize the drive
I
sometimes
do
that
have a
still has.
I do have a
especially.
shock room, so I can kill you at a distance if I have to.
So she can.
So
I
I
thought
can use preservation.
God.
I have preservation, bitch.
Another
can do the-
question.
I
Yeah.
can do the
Mhm.
exact same as I was doing last week, but on an even louder scale if I have to.
Oh,
Yeah. That's going to cause some trouble.
yeah.
Yeah.
Another question I've got here is why do we all take so much time in Dumbledore when going in each individual room when each individual room is empty?
I didn't want it to stay as long as I wanted it to be, so I wanted straight out.
I think that was literally just the curiosity was
Really-
getting better of us.
Yeah,
That's
curiosity killed the
it's
fucking
the
cat.
way Dumbledore's built. It is built
Yeah.
to Dumbledore is built to entrap through no sheer amount of force to entrap its people. It's like a spider's web.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you've gone into it, yeah, eventually it will have that effect on you. And in order to get out, you kind of have to explore different ways of being able to get out. But by being able to explore different rooms, you will eventually ensnare your own self. You'll entrap your own self inside it.
And plus, if you think about it, by that point, like especially, I don't know if Lee you feel the same. Like we've already been through many places where we didn't explore everything, and then we probably like, oh, we missed this and we missed that.
Well, it's like when we were level 1 and we were coming across that first little, those first couple of towers, and we had like, I mean, after we'd done that, because that was literally the first time we had pretty much played, and we then discovered there was stuff in there that we missed completely because we didn't go into every room, or we didn't figure out.
Well, you touched
opening.
something you weren't supposed to.
Yeah,
and then
well,
we had to leave anyway because of that, and then it's like no.
well, the good thing about that is I can probably go back and stop it now.
Well, possibly,
The
yeah.
best of it is like you never know what's going to be in a room that could be handy to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, do I go in there? Do I not go in there? Maybe I should go in there. Oh, I'll just look in there. Oh, right, there's something on.
And you
the
look at
table.
yourself and like, I'm alive at the moment. I am pretty good health. Everything that you know what, I probably could take whatever comes around that door. You know.
Which
now
is
knowing
something
how
that we all do. Like we count up the variables in our head. Is it really worth going into said room to pick something up that's on the table? And that's something that could be on the table. Could be anything. It could be a piece of paper, or it could be a sword, or it could be a coin. It could be anything, and it could have like great mystical power or have no power whatsoever.
Yeah. But I'd add to that though. Middle Earth is a place where you cannot just go through and try to collect everything and explore everywhere. It's not like a video game. You have to leave something behind for the next adventurers to find, or you have to leave something like unexplored to go back to explore next time.
So yeah.
Yeah.
A bit of a muck up for us, I think. Sometimes.
I don't think it's a muck up. It's just that it's like if you're walking through a city, you don't expect to hit every street.
But like talking about in Dumbledore, we knew the bottom floor was trapped.
In
We
Dumbledore,
still
I
went and
think
we still poked it. You know?
That's true.
in Dumbledore we left our sanity there. Just like, right, we're not going to need these anymore. Our sanities. Estelle, will you please leave that one in this room? I'll leave mine in this room. And Theo, you can leave yours in the room above that.
Oh, I think,
You know?
yeah, I think that was a real bad place for you.
It's a big place, and you didn't explore everywhere, obviously. So there is still plenty to explore for either other adventurers or for future adventurers, like future
But
adventures with these characters. Yeah.
the future adventurers or future adventures, at least in Dumbledore, they'll know now that there's a lovely indoor swimming pool.
No.
I have a few more questions.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So this one is directed to Estelle or Zeddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually directed to Zeddy. Zeddy.
That's Ellie.
Zeddy. Yeah.
To Estelle or Zelly?
Zeddy. Zeddy, do you actually know what you're supposed to be doing
No.
in MERP?
It's a very interesting question.
Later
What-
BBS.
What by BBS and what way?
Yeah, can you repeat the
I
question?
don't know.
again?
Well, that's kind of what the question says. Is it, Zeddy, do you know what you're supposed to be doing in MERP?
Yeah, but in what way? The
Well, like,
two ways that can be
Do I
taken.
know what Estelle's going to be doing in MERP?
I don't
Or
know.
like, is it like, does Estelle have a plan in her head for what to do?
Does Estelle have a plan in her head? Let's go with that.
Yes and no.
Okay, let's answer both of those kind of questions then. Just in case it's one or the other.
Okay,
So
so
go for the first one there, the Estelle. Does she have a plan in her head
does Estelle have a plan in her head?
of what to do?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Does Estelle envision the party helping her?
The visions are visions, okay?
Well,
and
do
they're
you
not
think?
clear.
Do you think the rest of us will be helping you with your plan?
I like to know this plan.
Yes and no.
Because I'd like to know this plan first.
There's
Yeah,
no
that's-
plan really. There's just an idea of where to go, and possible like things that are like goals, possible goals to get to. But it's not like a quest where I definitely know we're going from A to B and we need to do this. It's like, well, I know this, and this, what to tackle, and what's the best way to tackle it. It's like it's a goal.
Mhm.
I have my own goals as a character. Estelle has her own goals.
Mhm.
As a what she wants from the beginning, from the get-go.
No, from episode
When
1.
we started this adventure, she already had a motivation to do the things she does.
It's
From
very
the
hard to get
beginning.
Money.
No.
Yeah, stand
Well,
up and
yeah, but no. always wants money. It's like money is the luxury. Nice, I need the money, but that's always a goal. Because everyone needs money at some point. But like, yeah, there's goals already in place. There's like, I want to eventually do this, and this, and then there's also with the things currently happening. I was like, maybe I should do this, and this. It was like, and then there'll be things like, for these things, should I convince the party to go with me so I have people to do this with me?
to do this
Or
for
should
me.
I have it so that we are all split and I can do it myself? That kind of thing. Like, there's all these things that come into play and thinking of. So, yes, there's not a plan, but there's goals.
I think that the people listening are probably thinking, is everybody else there to carry her or to help her?
Unfortunately, we're just all in the same direction. That's all it is.
We're all going.
There's one path, and for some reason, we're all going down the same way.
I know.
It's all been coincidence.
Yeah.
Well, actually, to be honest, that goes into another question here. Is literally to everyone.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you will all stay together?
I was
No.
surprised that we weren't. That we did stay to. Oh, never mind.
That we
Yeah.
stay together?
That's
I don't think Theo will stay with you. I really don't. I don't think. I think unless
I thought
some
ages
situation
ago,
changes.
ever
And,
since. Oh, sorry, I was cutting you off. Damn it. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Sorry, continue.
but I don't think Theo will stay with you guys unless the situation changes and he has a purpose to stay with you. At the moment, he's got no real purpose to stay with you. He's got no real reason to be with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
so
you
I
mention that
honestly, Theo,
too, when you say you, there's multiple people within the group.
all of you, as
Okay.
in the as in the
Yeah.
Merc group. I don't think he has a reason to stay with you guys.
I felt that like from the I think it's just from the very beginning. I was just like, I'm just gonna get my horses, and then as soon as we get to this point, it's like I'm off.
Yeah.
And that was the point where it's like, oh, I've done all these things, and I'm not getting back to where I originally wanted to go. I want to be off. Like this is the last thing I ever want to do, and I'm off.
How many times has he said that?
Oh, every
But
time.
now,
I go to-
I've
and I'm
lost count.
surprised.
A couple of dozen.
No, I'm surprised you. Well, I'm not. I'm.
I've been very close of actually literally turning around and walking away.
Yeah, that's true. I know.
It's happened so many times. I'm thinking, so which is the best way for me to go back then? So I can go out that way. Ah, shit, but that's close. I'll have to go there. Literally leaving Doldogor, I was thinking about doubling back on myself. But the closest place for me to heal up after my immense injury was friggin' the Florian, so I have to go there first.
And
Sad
you know
face.
that I can't say this because
Mm-hmm.
that is a bit of a spoiler. Damn it.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
what we get. For being
Honey G. Do you
Yeah?
think we'll stick with the group? Think
Do
Sabine-
Zabbies would think of sticking with the group?
Or do you think you would stick with one person in particular, let's say? Like, let's say the group splits up. Who would you stick with?
Honestly, she wouldn't know. She wouldn't know at first, but she would probably go the same route with any that had a good connection with her at the meantime. I guess you could say. So it
Whoever
possibly.
you felt closer with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
for example,
So for me, for Zabby and me, I would say it's a mix up between Theo and Estelle at the moment.
Wow, Theo, where the hell did that come from?
Wow. Dylan Trust and Morwen are
You be surprised. You be surprised of like how sometimes her thought process goes. Basically.
because you're a shield.
right now Dylan Trust and possibly Morwen are wiping our heads going, phew, dodged a bullet there.
Oh jeez, no.
Dodged the hobbit bullet.
What about you, Jai? Would you think you would stick with the group? Given everything that's happened, would you stick with the group?
Probably, like, it's very difficult to say because, like, Dylan Trust is looking for information about something very specific to him. And I wouldn't be surprised as soon as he gets said information, regardless of what the situation, well, the current situation is. Like, say they're in the middle of a siege or something like that. If he gets that information, he's as good as gone. You know, it's like, I don't care what you guys are up to. I don't care if you're going to die and I'm the only one who can save you. If I have this information, there's no way that I'm not going to immediately act on it.
I mean,
Seems the elves are all the same.
in Zabby's mindset, it would still be nice to be still in a group. But if everybody's going in their separate ways, then that's going to be a difficult decision for her, basically. But she might have a close connection with possibly Theo and maybe Estelle.
What
all
would
I'm saying.
Morwen do?
See, that was something I was going to ask as well. What would she do? But again, if Dillintrust didn't have information that he's looking for, he'd probably follow Morwen. Just simply because she intrigues him.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, so what would Morwen do if the party split up? Who would she stay
That's a
with?
good question.
Who would she,
Yeah.
who what should we?
I
She
don't
really
think
do?
I
Would
don't
she
think I
stay and
don't
fight,
think
or
it would
she
be.
go
Yeah,
and-
like I say, because you guys are probably been contemplating that. I think I reserve that answer
God damn you, that's what
just in case.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I understand why you're reserving.
Yeah, I'm reserving that answer because it is kind of a semi-spoiler. I do know what happens to Morwen.
Okay,
Uh,
so no matter the situation, you've already planned her death. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, nice.
No.
No, I know what happens to Morwen. I know what happens to Morwen.
So even if we turn from Lothlorien and go left, and we go,
Go
we're
left.
done, bye, she would still have her own destiny to die.
I know what happens to Morwen. That's all I can say. I know what happens to Morwen.
Yeah, I get it.
She
I
might
see.
not die, she might go off and
Nah,
marry
she's gonna
someone.
die. What
She
what
may
will
go off
Estelle do if the party that she's with decides to go, right, I'm done here, I'm going this way, this person's going this way? What would Estelle do? Would she be like, oh, but I need your help if you don't mind, or okay, see ya,
As we're
chat later.
That's the thing.
raiding off.
I'm on
and
Facebook.
giving you you can reach me at Estelle1G.3.
I have a
That's the
phone
jug.
line.
God.
0800 001066.
Oh, okay, Andrew.
800 1066.
I got that.
Oh
from
my
an
god, that's what
advert.
I was thinking.
Oh,
0800 1066.
I don't know why.
Oh, is that bloody advert?
Okay.
What advert was that? Anyway.
It's that Hastings Direct thing or something like that.
Insurance.
something like that,
Some
yeah.
insurance company. Yeah. There's insurance company. Yeah.
Insurance.
That was in my head randomly.
So what would Estelle do?
What I think is,
You can see why it takes 6 hours to record our met sessions, guys, because we get easily sidetracked.
like, obviously she won't force anyone to go with her. But
I'm
like,
not going with you.
it's annoying because I know my thought process for later chapters, so I'm like, because that was literally one of the thought processes I had. Like, you know, we're at the point where we're in Lothlorien and we're preparing for the next point to move on elsewhere, right? And at this point, I is basically like thinking, I don't think, well, like, it's obvious that it's most likely that we're not sticking together at that point. And it's kind of like, well, I know that's the main possibility is going to happen. So it's like, I'm not going to force to help. But like, I think of like, if I could persuade, then I'll try. But if not, then it's like, because I feel like if I'm on my own, it will be 10 times worse than if I'm with a group. It's the kind of the survival in numbers mentality. Like, I need people to support me. Even though I probably could survive a bit on my own, I just...
You would not. You would have two people.
A little bit.
Let's take the wolf, for example. When we exited the Goblin's Gate, whatever it's called, the end back of it, before we got to Richard Shingles,
The back door.
the back door, I can't remember.
That
the
was
back
a
door.
bit. That was a
We were in a battle.
rolls and rolls of bad luck. And to
That
be
makes no
fair,
difference.
you
If
ran
you
in
roll-
first.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
who ran in first?
I ran in first, but
Yeah,
we engaged 4 orcs on wags or wolves,
Wags.
what they were.
Yes.
And we managed to take down 2. One came running at you, and the wolf, you preserved the guy, but the wolf got an attack on you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That took half your life for one bite on your hand.
yeah.
That was
I
one
was
guy.
aiming-
If
I
we
was
weren't at the front beating the other guys up, they would all charged you, and you would have not had a chance.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't charge into a group. That's the thing. I would have to be very careful on what I do. I'll
You would
have to
keep
avoid
away from
everything.
everyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
there'd be
Unless
no
I
saving
know-
anyone.
Unless I know like there's 2 guys and I can preserve them and then run away. So, like,
You would die so quickly. That's the problem, I think.
that's what I mean. Like I know I won't survive very long
Spongy.
out here in the middle of nowhere.
You have to keep Maureen. Make sure Maureen persuades with her.
Just get more in.
Need a tank.
Actually, yeah, that's not actually a bad idea. I could probably tell her a lot of things and it'd be fine. Actually, thinking about it, like, oh, actually, I could probably persuade more and they'll be like, hey, blah 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 blah, secret, 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 and she'd be like, oh, so yeah, I'll definitely
Don't you
come
think
with
the
you.
others should know about this? And you'd be like, no.
No.
No, she'll probably agree with me that no one needs to know.
Ooh.
I think our attitude might change a little bit from that, but I don't think it would be. Oh, okay, yeah, we don't need to tell them. I honestly think because
Oh,
the way
although it depends if she like she feels like, oh, the others, like, I don't know. Actually, yeah. But like,
because even when Dylan Traz told Maureen something, she then sent him off to say, well, you should tell the others.
but that's something different.
But she's very good at trying to keep information with the party. She doesn't want to. She doesn't always seem to shy away from it. She's very good at following and very good at just doing what people want. So if you don't tell her until the end, and when everyone's disappeared, you just say, Maureen, come with me for a little while. She'll go, oh yeah, okay, I'll help you out for a little bit. Nothing else to do.
No, it's such a spoiler.
Yeah.
It's such a spoiler, not only just for people in general, but for you guys as well. Like, it's such a spoiler.
So I don't think it'd be a spoiler because I personally,
No, it's a spoiler.
I
Trust
think
me.
Lee knows roughly what's meant to be happening, but I don't think it's coming through yet on the recordings.
I think
Do
you've got
you
no
mind telling
clue.
me in secret, like in type chat, what you think is going on?
I can later.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it now.
Hmm.
Oh, obviously.
Too many windows open. So I get another question.
Go on then.
Yeah.
Is it in Starburst? Hang on. Oh,
Oh, okay.
Starburst.
I haven't had Starburst in ages. Oh my god. With the way
Okay,
this day's going, I can't persuade you guys to do MERP today.
I have looked at the character sheets that you have placed on iGameOnline.net.
Hmm.
Now, Theo has 1 rank in bow range, I think you're going to mean.
Yes,
Missile.
missile.
Missile. 1 rank in missile, so yeah. Why do you have 1 rank in missile? And why did the others choose the way they are? I think they're on about our weapons. Why did you
So
choose?
why did you choose your
Oh,
weapon
the choice
stance?
of weapons we decided to
Weapon
pick.
skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Why
that's
do you
what you're on
choose
about.
those ones?
For Theo, I put 1 in range because he was originally going to be a sword and a range guy. So he was going to have a bow eventually.
Eventually.
But then Estelle ended up acquiring 1. So I decided, okay, there wasn't any purpose for having 2 range people. So I stuck just going straight one-handed.
Close
That's
combat.
that's the reason why Theo has a point in missile, because he was originally going to learn how to use a bow and all that.
Yes, I think also by that stage when you reach Rivendell and you went and received your training, you kind of already like made the decision about
Yes.
what weapon you're going to be using to continue the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because that's pretty much from the get-go when we went into the that first couple of towers, and I raided the dead person's sword.
Yes.
It was like, oh, I'll just have the sword. There was like a whole rack of bows and all that crap, but I went for the sword. I thought, well,
Yeah,
Estelle went
yeah.
for the bow. I thought, well,
It's interesting if you go back now and self-analyze those chapters and realize like all the decision making that you made back then subconsciously, and how much effect that's had on you now, like on the episodes that we're recording. You can see how that they have been carried on in the chain reaction that they've created. It's very interesting.
Yeah, just not even just the decisions we made within MERP. It's just the decision we made when we were creating our character. Also helped influence a lot of what's happening in MERP right now.
Yeah.
A lot.
Well-
And I can't believe how much it did. Like, it seems like right now, it's just looking back and like, I done all these things and now all these things are playing out. It's like it fits.
Well, you have
You
a
know?
point in concussion, so why did you have a point in concussion?
Said a
Okay.
club to start off with.
Because
Oh, yeah, that's
because
right.
the money I had when I initially made my character, I could only afford a club for a weapon. I didn't want to start this adventure without anything. I wanted to at least have something prepared. So in a sense, it's like Estelle being like, "Well, I can't afford anything, so I'm just gonna pay for a bit of wood and that's my club. Boom, in my
Yeah.
inventory. If anyone came behind me, I could whack him in the head. That was the only point why I had point in
You, can't,
concussion.
you could also envision Estelle being in the tavern, using either a rolling pin or an empty bottle.
Hey, quit fighting, you lot! I'm not gonna bring the whacker in.
So you can imagine where
whack
she
will
gets
win.
that
The
from.
whacker.
So
bend over.
she's
I'm writing
very
that down. I'll
very
never forget it.
professional in being able to club people. Usually
We'll throw a
drunkards.
bottle and hope for hitting.
Yeah, drunkards and that.
I
Yeah.
threw a bot. I still actually that just reminded me of one of the favorite parts of Riot at the beginning was just throwing it and it hit like the rider in the head. It's like what? And Whisper's saying like how he looks at me and like what what side are you on? And I'm like I'm sorry
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
threw one at him and one at the guy and it hit him and missed the guy
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
hit that
Against the
chandelier. It's like
didn't it?
oh.
Yeah.
Given the whole scenario, the whole story that you've played through at the moment, Zelly, you can understand why he glared at you.
Wait,
Yeah.
did he know?
Yeah.
The entire time he knew.
Yeah.
Oh no! I've been the whole entire meaning to everything I've had with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That's
all
what I
the
mean.
interactions.
Yes.
He's like
All
staring
those
at me. It's like,
awkward
I
moments.
know who you are, woman, but you don't know me. And we're gonna.
You clog him in the side of the head.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least I always say like, I'm so sorry.
I will.
Yes, I
Guys, if you do get a chance to, guys, go back and listen to those early episodes and just try and knowing what you know now and knowing the people, go back and listen to it, and it does all make much more relevant sense.
And the whole point why I have a point in edged as well is because I have a dagger with me now.
Mm.
And I just want to be able to use it and not have a minus 25 proficiency on it.
So what about the other two? Why did they choose bows?
I didn't choose a bow.
Sorry, missiles or
Missile.
throwing.
Okay, initially I had actually thought about choosing a bow, but then I realised that Sailing was using a bow, so I was like, no, I want to be different. So I started looking at other bow-like ideas, and I was going to go with a crossbow, but I wasn't sure whether it was something that was around in Middle-earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I wasn't sure at the time, and I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to sound stupid. So I was like,
Well, they're
other throwing weapons.
There's a
Or
variety.
maybe-
There's a variety of crossbows. Again, they're the potency. They go from the handheld ones, which are like little trigger guns.
Yeah, in the
You should
beginning, there's like
actually
an equipment and price table. It
Yeah.
Yeah, but I should have asked.
All the way
you,
through to the
Ellie.
heavy ones. Yeah, the heavy ones, which you have to stand on them, pull the string up, and then
Yeah.
rest it on a
In
wall.
the type of missile stuff, there's like
I
bola,
I should have
composite
asked
bow,
you,
crossbow.
Yeah.
in particular, what type of bow you had, whether it was short bow or long bow.
Mhm.
You know, I should have done that because I was, like, thought processing wise, looking back on it now, I should have went, oh, like, what kind of bow does she have? If she has a short bow, then I'll have a long bow because then at least I can get further, like.
Yeah, it's my
Just
bow is
short
longbow, isn't it?
Yeah, your bow's longbow.
Yeah,
Most,
but I'm
most
saying
elven ones are
that's-
longbows. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying that's what I should have asked. I should have asked her, you know, what type of bow is it you have?
I think all we had a short bow, didn't she?
Oh, we have a short bow. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a longbow. Yeah.
So I went into the deep thought process, and then I think I actually eventually asked Wispa, like, okay, shotgun, what are the chances of it being in Middle Earth? And he said, actually, the Easterlings might have one like that. And I was like, perfect, can I have one? He's like, yes.
Mhm.
So it was unique for me, and I knew that I was going to need throwing ability for that.
Yes.
And a little bit of missile, but I initially put everything into missile thinking, oh, I'll have something similar to a bow at some point.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Never happened.
There's
It's
still
never
time.
going.
There's still time.
It's still
Well, at
time.
least you got me.
Yeah, and you
then-
actually have a crossbow.
Not
No,
sure.
not a crossbow, an actual like
Short
a
bow.
bow
Oh.
that's
It's an elven bow.
the right size for me. Yeah.
Short. Short bow. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you chose a bow then as well, didn't you? I suppose it's because
I
your
actually
classes are both scouts though, so you wouldn't really have a scout that. Well, I suppose you could have a scout that had daggers, didn't there?
I do.
Oh yeah,
Be
yeah.
no, there'd be
I-
no reason why not to.
I
So
really.
yeah, so why did you choose long range attacks then? Why did you both choose the long range attack as well?
Because my thought process behind it was any type of class that's going to be hidden will not want to get too close to the battle. You know,
yes.
We'll stay far away and pick them off one by one. Yeah.
exactly. So it was like I was thinking from that side, that sense of, oh well, I'm going to be throwing or shooting something from a distance, you know, so that it will go in, hit the target, and hopefully kill the target. And then I can be in a safe area. And I'm assuming that you, Jade, were on a similar thought.
More or less, because for me, long range is actually is one of my kind of favorite things. Through all shapes of RP stuff. And I did decide to go for both missile and prone.
Mm-hmm.
Because part of my thought process was that Zabby does have daggers, but they're more for the throwing kind. And have you seen like a hobbit's strength? Seriously.
Yeah, that would
That's
be
not good.
It's not
That would be
good
a
at
difficult one.
all. So that's another reason why
Mind
I
you, I
went
mean-
for long range.
Frodo and all that, and when they were like traveling the Lord of the Rings, they had like swords and that, didn't they? They didn't do any bows.
Yeah,
or
they had
Yes.
short swords. Yeah, stinging
Yeah,
short
they had
swords.
short shots and all
and
that.
short
Yeah.
swords. You know,
Yeah.
Sam had the pan, so
Oh yeah, you had
that
a
was
pan.
that's a concussion.
Yeah, that's a club.
Yeah,
It goes on as a
but
club.
that's
But yeah.
the story. But this
Yeah,
is
but
Merc.
well, it is. It's still the same thing. They had
Yeah.
short swords. They didn't have two-handed swords. They had, short swords.
Short sword, yeah.
Which to a
Yeah,
hobbit
it's
is the
just
equivalent of a
for-
big sword.
Yeah, yeah. It's just for poor Zabby. Her strength is not that good whatsoever, so she actually relies on her long distance.
So you guys have been pretty lucky that you've ended up having two guys that use swords and have to get close to be pretty
Yeah.
much your meat shields. Because if you guys didn't, if Theo was also long range,
Mm.
everything would run at us. Whether or not we hit it, or if we say
Yeah.
Mm.
disabled one, another would get to us quickly.
Yeah.
So you guys have been really lucky that you've had two meat shields.
I've been lucky. I'm not gonna say it because that's a spoiler ahead, but I've been lucky with some of the party members. Let's just say, of getting my bag. Let's just say.
Mhm.
So.
But like in Doldor. Oh, I found out yet. I never did kill that thing. Someone told me. So sad face.
No.
Never did kill the what?
I never.
One of the
killed that. Someone
orcs.
else shot him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warren gutted one, and it's like guts were just flowing everywhere. And someone else shot at the one that I was shooting, hitting.
Yeah, that was me.
Yep.
Don't die.
Pardon me.
So yeah, I never get a kill out. So yeah, you guys have been really lucky that we've been pretty meat shield for you. I would love now to see you guys go out and battle without Theo or Morwen, just to see you guys see what would happen.
Yeah.
Well,
For
Circumstances have kind of changed now. You know, we don't just, some of us don't just have one thing.
Yeah, but even so, you're still not really proficient in that other thing.
Yeah, but that's only because we haven't found a teacher yet.
No, not whether or not you've got a teacher. If you've got a dagger, it still comes under a one-handed edge. If you're going to use it without throwing it.
Yeah.
It's only as soon as you throw it, it goes on to
Goes on throwing.
Throwing.
That's what I'm saying. Like you guys, like I would love to see you guys go out into a battle when there's like, let's take the those orcs that were on wags. Like, if I wasn't there to be a meat shield with another dwarf, I think it was. I think it was a dwarf.
Yeah.
It was a dwarf, wasn't it? It was
There
a
was some
couple of
dwarfs that
dwarfs.
there were some dwarfs that escaped. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So we were like the meat shields for that first party
The
of them.
ever so light-footed dwarves, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, the natural 100 guys. You could stealth through without even knowledge. I would love to have seen you guys do that bit without Theo there, and the dwarfs. Just literally, you see this guy, you start picking them off, and they all just turn and leg it towards you. That's a situation I would love to see.
Oh my god.
I know it sounds really bad, but it's a situation I would love
It
to see.
does! The way you're putting it, Jesus.
Love to see it. You, wow, that'd be great. See how much damage it does.
Mm.
Oh god. God, where's all my notes?
Any more questions?
Let me have a look on the iPad. Things been sent
Okay.
over.
Silence.
I know. We're waiting for the next question. Next question. You get to save the best one to last, don't you?
No, I think I went through the best ones.
Oh.
Aw.
I'm just doing them randomly.
Oh, really? Lame.
Oh, they've all been pretty fun actually. They've
Yeah,
not like
true.
I mean, I think my personal best one was Theo, why you an idiot. So
Yeah, oh, that's my
Yes.
favorite. It's so blunt and just simple. And it's like, Theo, why are you an idiot?
yeah. Okay, here's one.
Okay.
You all created your own backstories. Do you feel that your own backstories will become into do you
What, that
feel
will
that
come
your
into
own
play?
backstories will become into play, or do you feel that they will not necessarily be important? Now, I will say I don't think Theo's backstory will necessarily be important because it's already made him as he is. So
Yeah.
what he is what you're going to see no matter what.
I'm going to say for Zabby, I have a feeling that part of her backstory might come into play in the future. I think like something related to her will come into play.
I've actually got a really interesting question to ask Wispa on the whole thing about backstories.
Mhm.
Obviously, as the games master, you know everybody's backstory. Does any of the NPCs' backstories tie into the storyline?
Several of them already have. I can't say too much, but several.
I have a feeling on some, yeah.
Yeah, several of them already have. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to ask that because it was a kind of relation to your question, Lee.
That's right.
Sally, do you want to answer that question before I do?
Well, we know Zoe's
Um,
backstory is going to come into play no matter what. That's
Yeah.
pretty much the quest.
Estelle's backstory will come into play, obviously, yes. If what was the second part? It was like if there'll be any relevance to them.
If you think it is relevant.
Yes, and yes to both. Done. There you go.
So,
Done. Move
yeah,
on.
but do you think it's relevant to the rest of us or just relevant to you?
Relevant to what? Just to her or just everybody else? Or to
Well,
you lot?
to the
I
group
think
survive,
for
I would
I
say.
think well for me, I think it'll be relevant to in Zabby's part. It'll be relevant to her, but it might be important for the whole group as well, depending on the situation.
It'll probably be relevant to some others more than others. Let's just say that, I think.
Yeah.
See, I feel
Jai.
if the backstory comes into play, it won't be relevant for any of you, and it won't be relevant for him. It'll just be really annoying that it's been brought up for him.
Ah.
I don't know whether Dylan Trust's storyline will fully come into play. I mean, it would be if it did, it would be an interesting subchapter, or even half of a chapter, really, or even half of a paragraph. Um, but I don't think it's going to have any relevance on the actual story itself. Like I said, it would be an interesting subchapter, if anything. There you go.
Whisper.
Yes.
Do you feel that the players are doing what you want them to do,
Absolutely.
or have
I
they
knew he
thrown
was.
you a curveball occasionally?
Throw me a curveball.
Ah,
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, like in the overall story arc,
I think it's a pretty straightforward line
they're
to go.
doing exactly as I planned for them. Exactly as I planned for them. In the order, surprisingly, in the order as well. I have given everybody the opportunity to like do their own thing, but there's always something that kind of pulls them in, like polarizes them and pulls them in a particular direction.
Hmm.
Yes, even though they feel as if they've got um like a choice, and everybody has a choice. Everybody has a choice, but surprisingly, they all pick the same choice I pick.
I think it just goes very simple. Though. It's a very simple, lenient way. I don't feel like there's.
No,
There,
no,
there
no, no,
probably
no,
are
no.
ways to go different locations and that, but I feel like these are always the best suited locations to go to and the best ways to do it. That's my personal opinion, anyway. I feel like it's the best solution at the time.
Yeah. I know you mean yes, but yes, there is an overall story arc with the whole of the campaign, the whole of the story, and I said ages ago, I said I've already got it written out all in chapters. Or, well, not chapters, but yeah, chapters and in segments, what's going to happen and the series, the sequence to which things are going to happen and who they're going to affect and how it's going to affect and all the rest of it. But so yeah, I think the players are doing as I expected them to do, expected of them. Yes. Whether they'll continue, I don't know, because
has anything ever played out the way you thought it would?
I no, there's only one bit which I thought there's probably more than one bit, but your um your imminent escape. Well, I wouldn't say imminent escape. Your tactical retreat from Dol Guldur
Mm.
was a little premature, I thought.
Really?
Yeah.
Is
I
that
didn't.
the only thing that you feel
No, because
should?
the
Well, it's
way.
because of the luck of the draw, you know? It's
Yeah, it
like,
was, it was. I always like I plan for all eventuality. Like maybe they'll just decide to just go and leave, or they might decide to go like onto the next floor of Dol Guldur.
I
Um,
personally wanted to stay there longer, but I knew that Zeddy was.
yeah.
As a player, I could see her points running down. And I'm thinking, well, she's not healing me anymore anyway, so I can't exactly get any more damage. If I get any more damage, I'm screwed.
oh yeah, I know, but yeah, I expected you to stay in um stay in Dol Guldur a little bit longer. But
I wasn't
I mean I knew the
too
next
lucky.
bit of the story was to go from Dol Guldur, you were going to go out to this kind of area, to this region, then you were going to go to this region, and then there'll be some interaction with this, and again there will be a story arc where you will be pulled in this particular direction. Not necessarily to say that you were going to go in this direction. You're free to go wherever you want, but there will be a you know when I always leave it like on a cliffhanger, kind of on a cliff edge. Um, some to try and like, okay, we're gonna have to go this way to find out about this. There's always the players are always curious about wanting to know reasons to answers. Yeah.
Well, you always say that we're following Estelle, but do you feel that she's actually led us? Or do you feel that we've all just bumbled in the same
No, I
direction?
think the world of Middle Earth is leading you. I think that there is an overall force or something like that. That's like I say, pushing you down a certain. It's like if you stood before three paths, there's some invisible force or some kind of like presence that seems to be like saying, this is the path you need to go down, and it's pushing
It's
you down.
chess.
Yeah, it's pushing you down that particular path. Yeah. It just so happens that that path is the one I've already storyboarded out.
Oh, beautiful.
No, it's good.
No, it's good. It's good. Yes, because I mean, I've already planned out right the way up to episode 120. That's why we say we're halfway through now. So I know what's going to be happening next. I know what's going to happen in the future. I know who you're going to run into, and I know how that's going to play out. And I know that if you choose to do this, then obviously it has like that multiple endings kind of scenario, like you'll find in a typical video game.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
There we go. It
So
plays out.
yes, and
Yeah.
remember, like I keep saying now, if you go back and you listen to those earlier episodes, like 1 to 20 or so, the decisions and the things that you did then you are facing the repercussions of those decisions now. Yeah. So just bear that in mind when you're playing through these episodes that you're playing now. When you do get to episode 115, 116, 120, what kind of repercussions you might be facing then?
Yeah, I mean, I was always aware there would be a knock-on effect,
Oh, there's a massive knock-on
no
effect.
matter what. I mean, I always knew there would be.
There was a
Considering future decisions, yeah, I can realize the knock-on effect.
There's a massive knock-on effect, a huge knock-on effect, and that's why you seem to be funneled down this particular path. Yeah, whether you work it out before reaching the end of the path, that's up to you guys. It's good though, but yes, the players, to answer the question, the players
It's
are
kind of
doing
like-
as I expected them to do.
It's kind of like, is this path the one that is like most beneficial in terms of that it's the outcome we want versus like something that'll just crumble the entire world?
I don't know about that,
That's the
but
question I ask every day of my existence as a
Nah,
star.
the world's too big to worry about. Worry about now and then.
If there's no world, then I can't have my
Dylan
family in that
Trasker
world.
looks it looks at the world in the way of, oh, it's an adventure. Might not necessarily be on this adventure with people I can stand, but it's an adventure.
Wow. Okay, my last question I have
last question for the evening.
is
No, the last question from me. We'll all have
Oh boy.
Good.
main
Come on
question.
then. Okay.
last question is
Yeah.
if our characters all died, what would the new character be that we make?
I don't
Oh
know.
God.
I can't answer this one.
I can. I can answer straight away. I would probably play. Yeah, this is just purely from experience playing with Theo at the moment, where he gets stressed out because of all the secretness. I would probably play either a Doodun or a elf, because one thing, they live longer, so they can get more done.
Get more done.
Elves obviously have like a better sight and hearing, so they're actually able to scout a bit better. I would probably play a. I would the classes I would play, it would be a bard again, a warrior, because I think that sounds quite fun, and not having to actually have learned. I don't have to be learned. Or I would play an animus.
An animus.
But I wouldn't. I wouldn't play it like a Zeddy. I would play it more than. I don't do the healing stuff. That's not me. I'm just pure
Magic.
crap for you. Yeah. Sorry.
Pure crap.
Pure crap.
How dare
Okay. Okay.
I would play either a Duodin or an elf, and it'd be one of those three classes.
Okay.
See, I think just to reference a question that you already asked about the weapons thing, when I picked an elf, I knew they had good foresight. Well, not foresight, but sight in general, and hearing. So that was another deciding factor on me on what type of weapon I was going for. Yeah. So, yeah. If I had to, like, if my current character died in Merc, like I said, I can't really answer that question because it ties into my character's storyline.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna-
see.
I'm
Yeah.
not 100%
Well,
sure.
no, you wouldn't have a character storyline. It'd be a whole new character storyline, whole new background,
but-
everything.
This
No,
is the
but
thing.
no,
I,
yeah,
Dim
I
Character
know.
doesn't exist anymore. So who would you make?
I
could
think I know.
I could easily make like a connection to Delantrass through another character.
I think I know what you mean by that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
I
you,
can't.
You would do his other twin.
Damn it, Lee!
It's come through the recording a lot longer than you realise.
Like,
Oh, is
yeah,
it?
I would play his brother. You know.
We all joke about it in so many recordings. It comes through so many times.
Oh, never mind.
There you
then.
go.
I can't believe you only just realised.
I
Like,
forget most of our recordings. I mean, I don't listen
Exactly.
to it 20 times.
Exactly.
Wait, editing
don't-
we do.
Me,
true.
Yeah.
Sally, and Jade don't listen to it 20 times like you and Wispa do. Lee.
That is true. I will
So-
forgive you for not re-listening to what we've done.
We only really get to listen to what we said when we record it. And
Yeah, I
then
understand that, but then you know,
well,
remember it.
what you guys don't edit out as well. That's all we get.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, I know what you get.
Good.
I edit it.
I
I know
hope-
what you
I-
get.
I-
Yeah, for
You
me,
do?
I would not know.
See, I think it's difficult. That's a difficult question to answer because you really don't know what you would do. Like, you might make a character that's the exact same as one you had, or you could make one that is completely different to what you've had before.
Oh, that makes it interesting because then maybe I could play, depending where it is in the story, maybe I could play a certain character, maybe. Because I wrote down a few people in Estelle's life. I might play them. That's giving me a good idea. That's cool. Thanks,
That's
Jai.
That's only if Estelle dies.
That's only if Estelle does, yeah.
Yeah,
I plan to keep her alive as much as I can.
That's a good plan.
This episode
That's a
comes
good
out,
plan.
they all die.
That's a good plan.
I'm too attached to Estelle already. Because I embedded too much of me at places, and then I'm always like. But then, you know, yeah.
Well, yeah, see, I don't think I would want Theo to die, but I'm not going to be like, oh crap, he's dead, really upset. And I think
I'll be upset.
I will be probably upset and annoyed on the first time it happens, but I will get over it quite quickly because he's a character that I've built and I've learned a lot with him.
Now you can do something new.
So yeah, so that it'd be different for me. I would do
Mhm.
different. I would definitely do different.
Oh, I've got a question.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, somebody was replying to something I said. Oh, cool, awesome. Which cosplay print did you go for? I don't. I'm gonna pronounce this name.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Hey, anybody want to try and help me with this? Because
I'm not saying it.
I'm just gonna call it Kappa. Kappa.
3, 2,
Kappa,
1,
I'm
One
not-
kappa.
321 Kappa. I'm not going to put the first half of that in, but 321 Kappa. Well done on buying one of the cosplay prints. Which one did you buy? Or which one are you looking at? To be more specific, because you did say you're looking at them. And I was asking you what took 14 days to deliver to you.
Well, Esper said so you
Because he's
can
looking at
decide.
Kobe's
Prints, yeah.
prints, cosplay prints, yeah.
Which is available on iGameOnline.net. Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
So, any more questions?
I think we should all have one final one, and it could be
Okay.
either to the character or like an overall one. So Zelly, give us a question.
Oh God.
Joy, give us a question.
I tell you what, you can
I
all
thought of this already.
you all ask each other questions, and then when I come back in a couple of minutes, you can each one of you can ask me one question.
Oh, okay, that's
Okay? Give me 2
Oh
minutes.
god, I don't even have any ideas anyway.
Yeah. Oh crap.
Okay.
I don't think I have any questions for you guys.
Oh crap.
Stabby, why are you so attached to Estelle?
The question I asked earlier.
Oh, so well, I
Yeah,
had
that was-
EFK at that point. I'm sorry.
Why am I attached to Estelle?
Yeah, this is Dylan Trask asking Zabby.
Well, I was only kind of attached to her because I knew somewhat she was important because of her name. It's just when she said her name, that's when you could say I got attached.
Are you
Maybe.
willing to share this information about her name? This is obviously something you know about her family.
Well, it's because she was going to be sent in to try to find something from the Fae family, remember?
Yeah.
So when she got told her name, she realised she was part of the family that she was meant to be in trying to get something from.
Yeah, but Stell's not telling us anything about her family, so I'm asking the Hobbit. What is it about the Fae family that's so important?
I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think she knows.
Well, I don't know that. I was just basically set to do some stupid thing. And it
Be
was just
captured
basically
and
that.
then try to get a hobbit to do their dirty work. That's
Yeah.
actually the story.
Yeah, basically.
Unless there was something more that they thought, like, oh, we will use this chess piece to do that, and they'll do other things for us. But you know.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Okay,
Eh.
anybody got a question? Anybody else got a question?
Nope, I can't think of any.
Do you
Theo,
think? Well, what?
go ahead.
Do you think Estelle would ever share information properly with the party, or even anyone of the party?
Is that directed to?
Estelle.
Oh, okay. What?
Like, do you think she would actually give information freely? Like, many a times. Let's use Theo as an example. He's asked you about your background and all that, and where you're from, and all this shit. But you always seem to deflect him. So do you think you would
I've
be?
said things,
Do
and
you,
I've
yeah,
said.
but do you think one day that you'd be open enough to actually just talk to him normally?
I think in general, just in general, in front of everyone, I won't. Like, if stuff is said in private, that just makes me like, okay, I could probably say this. So I think, like, at some point it will be said. It's just when and where and who with is the key factors in that. So I think it'll eventually be known, but it's just by who and when and where. If it's in private or as a group. Because at the moment, saying stuff as a group is the stuff that is not too private, but the stuff that's really private kept in private terms with certain people.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I think. Anyway.
Cool.
Hmm.
There's obviously a drive to be like, I want to tell, but I can't.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's that, like, I want to. And even, like, with this stuff, it's like, I kind of want to, but I feel like I can't. I shouldn't. And then that's the way it goes.
Anyone else?
How would you rate? This is probably gonna go with Aaron. How like from your character's perspective, how would you rate if you're able to rate people? Like, which ones you're like least trusted or least likable, and the most trusted and most likable, and
So-
list like that? Are you able to list like people you like?
This is to everyone, is it?
Yeah.
I'll do mine last.
You bitch, because I can't answer that question.
Well,
Okay.
which people do you kind of like, and which people you don't kind of like within the group?
Right. I'll go first with this one, given
Or which ones you're more
everybody
attached
else,
to?
give everybody,
Fine.
everybody a chance
Yeah.
to think about their answer for this one. Dylan
Actually-
Trask is intrigued by Morwen. He finds her interesting, but not in any kind of how's your father sort of way. He finds her clearly interesting and perplexing and a bit of a mystery because none of us really talked to her all that much. Theo he thinks he's funny. He sees Theo as somebody that's extremely funny, doesn't get why he's always kind of serious half the time. You know?
Why
But
so serious, Theo?
exactly. But he
God.
does think he's funny. You know, Theo does things that just make Teletras laugh on the inside and the outside. He'll trust Zabby as far as he can throw her.
Well, you've got quite a high throw skill.
Wow. Okay.
Which is a compliment. That's a compliment. Teletras is concerned.
Yeah.
Admittedly, he doesn't fully trust her. He finds her quite annoying. But then, to an elf
I'm not
like
surprised.
Bill and Trask, a lot of things are annoying. Estelle right now, annoying as hell. He doesn't like her, and he'll do certain things only because like she's shown him a glimmer of kindness. So he'll glimmer back in that sense. It's like he's been raised to say, right, okay, if somebody's been nice to you, you be nice to them for a short period of time. It might be somebody that you absolutely detest and can't stand, but kindness shown is kindness given back.
A debt is paid.
Pretty much. It's like an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a punch in the face for a punch in the face. Which means, Theo, you might want to watch out with your face because Belantras might punch you in the face.
Bring it.
Just beware of your face, dude.
Bring it.
Bring it.
Bring it.
Bring it.
God.
What about Zoe? You got a rating system?
Or just do it how like Jai did it.
For Zoe at the moment, everybody seems more or less even. That's how she sees it.
Because of the little time that we've had together, right?
Basically, yeah. She sees everybody as even at the moment, but maybe slightly down with Dylan Trask. Just slightly.
Just slightly.
Yeah, just slightly. She still kind of questions herself about Theo, but respects him. Of like what he's been through and such. With Estelle, she would like to know her more. It's just through that importance that she felt like that it was important for Estelle to know certain information. So it's somewhere in the middle, let's just say, with Estelle. But for Theo, yeah, she respects him. Even though he can be silly sometimes.
What about Morwen?
Morwen, they're in kind of noble in one term, but a bit much, let's just say. And for her, she just gets easily confused, so.
Theo.
So I want to do my last. I want to hear Estelle's.
Alright, Estelle.
Okay. My own question. It would be kind of hard because it's like, considering the way Estelle is, she always tries to know as much as possible in a nosy fashion, and not too much of like asking, hey, do you have blah blah blah? Like that wouldn't happen. But I think like in terms of I think it was obvious that because depending on how long I've known you for, it's the kind of the ranking system in a sense. Because I knew Theo the longest, so I would know him more and his tendencies and the way he works and stuff. So I have a more trust with him. And like some things is like I can sympathize and like respect in many different ways of his like thought process. from Estelle's point of view. Dylan Trask are just, there are times it's just like, well, he just seems like a rude brat sometimes. But I also would like, he always goes off on alone, and I kind of like built that kind of like sympathize of like I can sympathize your loneliness in a way. Like, I get you, Dylan Trask, but you're also rude to me, so fuck you.
Nice.
But I'm gonna try to be nice to you too. So there's like days where I can like I can't be arsed, and then days of like I could really sympathize with you. I'm gonna try to be friendly. You still brush me off, and like, damn it.
Do you know what that's one of the like? I'm gonna like announce this right now. When I wrote my character's history, I spoke to Zelly specifically. I took her aside and said, "Look, my character's coming in soon, and he's gonna absolutely hate your character." You know, and it's nothing to do with the fact of who your character is, like what she is as a person. It's to do with her lineage, her bloodline, what like her race. You know, she is half elven. He doesn't trust half elves, so there are times when I'm going to be really mean to you, and I want to play off that in an RP sense. And the two of us have done that so well. You know,
I just do whatever you want. I'll just play
Yeah,
according to
like-
my character. Like,
it is so much fun doing a scene like that. Those are like, if somebody asked me what's your favorite type of scene to do in Mark, I would have to say that kind of scene with Zelly, because we bounce off of each other so well. You know, it's actually quite scary how well we bounce off of each other.
yeah. And just to finalize, Morwyn, like, because I'm aware of who she knows and like how she is and stuff, and the information I know of her, I'm kind of like, I know I feel like I can trust her, and I feel like I can like I know she's a very helpful ally in that respect, and I do respect her. And I don't think I had much, like, even though we've been together for so long, we haven't like had a proper talk together, like a proper Morwyn and Estelle talk, other than the first meeting, obviously, with like talking at the bar, which at first I was like, help, like, just hearing about her, I was just like, it's just some girl, but she's probably a useful ally. And then as soon as the meter is like, how dare she put a dagger to my back, that son of a... And then after it's just like, whatever, she's cool, you know? That's for Morwen. And then for Zabi is like, it's this little hobbit that needs help, and I'm kind of like, I need to help this person. And then she has her adorable tendencies, like thinking the hobbits are adorable because they're small.
Good.
But obviously, since Sabi's like only been with us for like a little while, like I don't know everything yet, but obviously it's like she seems cool, but I need to know more about her before I can like really trust her with everything, like, kind of thing. And that's gonna be hard, because even then, like you need to be at Theo level to even get even an inkling of trust. That period of time needs to happen. Really.
Hmm.
So I think that's Estelle's point, I think.
Theo.
I feel bad for what I'm going to say now.
Oh no.
Theo currently doesn't really trust any of you at all. If he was doing something, he would try to probably go to Estelle because he's known her longer, so he has a better idea of what she can do. But he will ask, like, let's say to do the skeleton, he would go straight to Dinintraz. Yeah, we've already discussed this. He doesn't want to send Zabi into danger, sort of thing, so he would send Dinintraz into danger instead. But he
Get rid
in
of
the
one.
point, he will actually physically, he will ask you as a group, yeah, like, what do you think we should do? What do you think here? Because he doesn't want to single out anyone. He will listen to your answers and judge in the situation what he thinks is better, and whether or not you guys agree with him doesn't matter, because it's what he's asking you is your opinion, so he gets a better understanding of what's happening. Yeah, seeing it from different eyes helps him visualize what he wants to do. So he might say, well, do you think we should go left or right? And you might all go left, right, right. You go, well, why do you think we should go left and right, right? It's like, well, this is that, this is this. So, okay, I go left. So, but we've all just said right. Yeah, but I go left. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Brute force
So,
it, man.
literally, he doesn't really trust any of you at the moment.
I think he
Because of-
trusts
because-
Morgan.
No,
Like,
at the
she's
moment,
the only trustworthy character.
No,
out
no,
of all
if-
of us.
out of NPCs, he trusts Orwe more. Yeah, he likes Orwe more than Morwin, but he will respect Morwin's ability in combat because of the way she is now and how good she can be.
Because she knocked him out to 1 HP.
She knocked him down to 0 HP, but
Well, there you go. There's another reason to respect her.
he
One
doesn't.
headshot.
No, he doesn't respect her because of that. He respects her because of the abilities she can do and what she's able to do to actually survive. Whether or not he will respect her decision to say, "I'm doing this," you all got to follow. He will probably just turn around and say, "You know what? No, that's a fool's errand. I don't need to. I'm quite happy. You obviously got confidence in your own skills to do it. Go and do it yourself." So he, in order of people he likes the most, it is Orwe. Estelle comes in after that. Then it's Din and Traz, and Zabi and Morwen are at the end.
I feel bad at leaving Owie out now because she's like my bae. She's my sis, yo. She's like, we're like sisters from other mothers, man.
Well, Zabby hasn't like actually met Orwe, so she wouldn't know, basically.
Yeah. See, even though we're with a short period, like, he liked Orwe because
Oh,
she
I
was
love Owie.
more straight.
She was
in it.
adorable, and we're like sisters from different mothers. It's like, yeah.
But if he went to ask for help, it would depend on the situation why he wanted to help. If he needed someone to scout for him, he would go straight to Din and Traz because he wouldn't want to put Zabi into danger. And then he would, if he's thinking, I need someone with a bow, maybe long range, to help support me, maybe I'll go to Estelle. And she, at least that also gives me, if she can heal me, she will, hopefully.
I would.
It's. I'm just gonna say this right now. If Theo like actually keeps treating Zabby like that, she would actually step up her game and do her stuff herself.
Yeah, oh, that's absolutely fine. That's your own character to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, because she doesn't like to be treated like a child.
That's the problem. See, in Theo's eyes, you currently are at the moment. As well
Because
as
she-
didn't try
because-
that
Because
moment where he
honestly,
grows.
she is 1 year under age from a hobbit to being an adult.
To be honest,
and-
she's older than Theo still, so
Yeah, and she's been much more of an adult, even though she hasn't reached her maturity of age.
I find that really interesting, the fact that Theo treats people who are much older than him like children.
yeah.
Just because of the way they act.
Yeah.
And in their race, they're basically children.
But that is the thing. It's the behavioural patterns that they follow. It's not. You may be older than me, but you're still a child.
You act like you have basically. You act like you have no wisdom, you know, kind of like
Even though I may know, even though I may have some wisdom.
maybe intelligent, but you're not wise. You're not. You haven't grown. I don't know.
But I say nothing about the wisdom thing. So
By the way, guys, Zabby just rolled her eyes. She rolled her eyes, thinking, typical.
he would, yeah. But even so, Theo would think very hardly what he's asking Estelle to do. He wouldn't. He doesn't trust Estelle, to be honest, 100%. He will accept what she says and what action she does, but whether or not he's going to trust it, it's going to depend.
The fact with the up to the point of the episodes, like Since you say you don't really trust anyone, who do you trust the least, and who do you trust the most?
Well, up to the point of Lothlorien, the least I trust at the moment is a toss-up between Estelle and Zabby.
Oh.
Yeah, because literally we've just found you in Doldador, not knowing
Understandable.
anything about you.
Understandable.
Estelle's the only one who's frigging opening all the doors. You know, there is a very big issue with all this that hasn't been addressed. So until they get addressed,
Sorry. I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah, we even
they
discussed
are my-
afterwards about something about that, and then we were like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, they're the big issue. He doesn't think you're evil, so don't worry about that. He just doesn't trust you.
yeah.
I'm
Like, he
getting
doesn't
quite
think he doesn't think
sleepy.
either of you are evil.
Who do
He
you
just
trust the most then?
Ooh.
Oh,
Who, me?
even though no, like because Lee said that Theo doesn't trust anyone much
Mm.
at all. But
That's
like, who do you
understandable,
trust the most out of the people that you don't trust?
Here's the thing: I would trust you all to be yourselves and know what you are doing now. So
Mhm.
knowing what you're like, I would trust you to be that person.
Right.
So I would trust Estelle to be nosy. I would trust Dylan Chaz to be nosy and try to steal everything that's not nailed down.
Oh, that's another thing that I'm.
I would trust Zabby to be very cautious and always trying to avoid battle.
Mm.
This is one thing I'm going to say to Estelle right now, as Dylan Trust. Would you stop trying to pinch everything off the nearest corpse? It's my job.
Never.
Okay. Is that everything that we've got for
Those
questions?
are our
and such?
questions to go to Whisper.
I don't
Finally.
have any though. That's the thing, and I'm getting.
I
sleepy.
have one question to whisper, and that's
Go
it.
on, quick on.
Okay, one for Whisper.
Will I ever find the money I want? Will I ever be rich?
No.
Will you
Yeah.
ever
It's like
be
asking
rich?
Where's my
for-
money?
I'm gonna say Theo will get
It's just desserts.
no, I wouldn't say it's just desserts. Theo will receive a reward.
Yay!
Dylan Trust will steal.
I'm not gonna say what that reward is or how big the reward is, but Theo will be
Everlasting power.
Theo will receive an award. Now, bear the
Theo will
bear,
become
write
the
that I would
servant.
say listen to them words very carefully.
I
Theo
already
will
figured it out.
receive an award. That's it. Okay.
I've already figured it out, so don't
You
worry.
will go up to the king and be like, "You have served well in our country. Here, have a token of our appreciation. A golden star for your T-shirt.
But when we stop recording, I will
Golden
say
star.
what I think it is.
Oh my god.
You saved Mother Earth. Well done, gold star."
Achievement get.
Yeah,
Achievement unlocked.
know, the Theo will receive a reward. Yeah, a reward. Yes, he will receive a reward. So there you go.
And at times you said awards. So
An award, reward. But he will be awarded a reward. But yes, I'm not going to say what it is or whether
Say
he'll
that
enjoy
quickly.
it.
Say that 10 times.
I know, but I'm not saying
Another
I'm not saying whether when he'll get it or when or what it is or how much it's worth or whether he thinks it's worthy
Yeah.
or whatever it is, but or whether he even be pleased with it or not.
You're not worthy for me. Go
He
on.
might come to think of it possibly being some kind of a burden,
Hmm.
but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. So yes, that answers that one. Anyone else, quickly?
I don't have any, unfortunately, Whisper, and I'm getting sleepy.
Okay.
Crap.
Oh, this one you won't be able to really answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Will we ever encounter the ring bearer?
The ring bearer. No.
We have.
No?
No.
No?
We've
Okay.
seen Theo.
Theo.
Frodo.
Theo the ring
I
bearer.
mean,
Theo the ring bearer.
you and Estelle have.
We have.
Theo and Estelle have, but not through our journey. We're not. No.
No. Unfortunately not. No.
Oh, will we see Oliphants? I want to see.
Always making a review, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see an Oliphant.
What's that?
The elephants.
The big mammoth things.
Oh! Okay.
I want to
Just
see
keep going north, you'll find them.
Keep
no.
going.
We're going south.
south.
Pretty south,
It's
actually.
not south. It's east. Isn't the Oliphants east?
But they're from the Corsairs and the Eastlings. That yeah, what you would consider be Central Asia. But yes, would you encounter them? There's a distinct possibility if you're in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
Yay.
Whether that's a good place and a good time, but you know that's a different matter. But There's
Some
distinct possibility.
questions I could ask is just going to be spoilers to myself, so I'd rather
Yeah.
not.
Probably.
I want to see an Oliphant. I want to ride an Oliphant as well.
So is that everything, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's been our MERP Q&A session for nearly 4 hours.
Ooh.
I know. I hope everybody in the streams enjoyed that. We'll be.
They always go too long.
It was good too long.
Too
Yeah,
much
because everybody wants to know everything. Lots and lots of questions. We had a great like selection of questions there.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody who submitted those kind of questions. There will be another questions and answers session.
When Theo dies.
Well, maybe you never know.
So next week.
Not next week. I'd say probably. I mean, when we come to another significant part of the story where we can have a small little break, and then yes, we can have a lovely Q&A session, and some people can think of some more questions, some that might not have been asked. Get your questions ready for that next session, and there might be some new questions being raised. Some new developments are on the horizon, and there might be some questions that are being answered in the recording. So keep listening, guys, or keep watching the YouTube channel for our MERP series. If, like I say, we do have our Dragonlance series on the up and up. It's almost set up, ready to go. If everybody should be looking forward to listening to that. Again, each one will be specially introduced by Morgan Freeman, actor, director, Academy Award winner. On behalf of iGameOnline.net, I have been Wispa.
I have been Jai.
I've been Zelly.
I've been Theo.
Don't you mean Lee, Dark
Nope.
Lee?
I've
Okay,
been-
I've been Zelly Estelle.
I've been Jai and Dylan Trask.
No.
And I've been Honey Jade and Zebby.
So until next time, guys.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Level up.
Level up.
Bye. No. Oh no! Yeah, I'm gonna head off now, actually. I'm gonna head off. So no work session tonight, sadly. No work.
So maybe let's see what's next.
Okay guys, I'm off. Night night.
Good night, Jay. Did you just say night hum? Say night hum. I thought you were saying night hun as in shop for honey. I need a toilet break here.
There you go, folks. Hope you all heard that.
No, it was